Oh my god. Hello, hello, good evening. It's loud. It's loud. Why is this? I hope you're good. Welcome. Welcome to a stream where I literally didn't know what game to play for the entire day. I'm still not sure. It's like we're doing this now. We're going to be doing this now, but I have no idea what to expect. Nothing. No clue. I know it's a visual novel, and I know that I own it. And it's supposedly pretty good. It is also apparently the first in a series. We don't have the other parts of it yet though, so there's probably going to be, I don't know, some kind of cliffhanger. Well, not even a cliffhanger, but just like, the knowledge, oh, there's more to come whenever it comes. But I own the game. I bought it some time ago and it was on Steam because it looked like a... And it was on sale, not when it was on Steam. It is on Steam. It is available on Steam, yes. Thank you, Brain. I don't know. It looked cute. It's a kinetic visual novel, which means no choices for us. None whatsoever. Just reading. Just pressing enter and reading, probably. It also is voiced. So a bunch of stuff that technically means, oh, it's doing all of that on its own and I don't have to do a lot at all. Which, to be fair, is exactly what I need today. Because, you know, tonight was the time change. The time change here. So we went from when it should have been 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. in the span of a few seconds. And I still feel, well, I didn't really sleep a lot, so I need something that's like low effort. I'll be honest, I need something that is low effort right now because otherwise I'm gonna cry and scream and die. Let's see if the settings are good. Game start. Okay, hold up. How do I do this in a way that is comfortable? Yeah. I always thought the love confession was something romantic. Well, it should be. Achievement unlocked, confession from a stranger. Okay, valid. When I turn around, I find a beautiful girl standing there. Her long hair flutters in the wind as her cool gaze pins me to the spot. Okay. Her eyes bore into me. She's an older student who I've seen around the school, but we've never exchanged so much as a word. Even so, I'm spellbound by her icy beauty. The stunning specimen of a woman is confessing to me. Confessing what? Usually it would mean confessing your feelings to someone. It would mean asking the other person to go out with you. It would mean telling the other person you like them or even love them. Yet her expression doesn't convey affection. It's a harsh, angry look. I thought confessions were supposed to be romantic. You expressing your love to someone, telling them they mean something to you. Shouldn't it be something wonderful and meaningful? Is this really a love confession? Am I going to date this upperclassman? Me, who's never been in a relationship or experienced love before. Hi, Vroom, good evening. I stare at the girl whose name I don't even know, but her face remains impassive. I don't get the impression it's due to nerves. Rather, I get the feeling she despises me. She just asked you out. I don't think she's necessarily despising you. I say nothing. What should I do? I have no idea who this girl even is. Can I tell her sorry? No, but let's be friends? I just have to turn her down gently and politely. I know that's what I should do. Yet you do something completely different. Okay. And yet, gazing into the eyes of this beautiful girl whose name I don't even know, I nod.
わかりました。
Aww.
よければよろしくお願いします。
Okay. It would have been so easy to turn her down, yet somehow I feel like I might regret it. It's not because I'm desperate for a girlfriend or anything like that, but a plain Jane like me doesn't exactly have people lining up to date them. So, given the opportunity, I want to see what it's like. I want to know more about this girl who's confessed to me.
そう。
Despite my acceptance of her request for me to be her girlfriend, her expression doesn't warm in the slightest. Alright, this...
伺っても
It's promising to be a trip, for sure.
倉橋美琴
Good, nice to meet you.
美琴先輩ですね。よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。
I dip my hat to her politely. For some inexplicable reason, I feel like our coming together will change things. Like maybe my life will move forward in a positive direction. Like my boring, humdrum existence will be transformed. Like maybe I'll come to understand what Mikoto sees in me. As she glares at me, I smile back. Listen, all I know about the game, because they posted an update for it last year, is that apparently Mikoto's birthday is the same as mine. Her birthday is on the 11th of August. I noticed that when I installed the game earlier. I was like, what? A character in a game or a series that has my birthday, which I've not seen a lot of times, so I'm really happy. The girls in their sailor uniforms climb up the steep winding hill road and pour through the school gates. Kikkyu Women's Academy. The sprawling Women's Academy atop the hill in Kamakura contains all levels of schooling from elementary to university. That's a big school. The rules are strict, and it's said that any girl who attends will leave as a proper young lady. They probably greet each other with Goki Genyo as well. Same birthday, let's go! Did you just change your green? Did you just change the color of your green? Even so, the students all find their own ways to have fun. They enjoy the school life, making friends and gushing about pretty older girls. Many girls date fellow students, and there's no prejudice towards same-sex dating. So long as everyone follows the rules, the teachers turn a blind eye to it too. Aha. Okay. But I'm not a part of all that. I trundle along quietly, my own dull, ordinary way. Never in a million years did I think I'd ever be a part of that sparkling world. Until yesterday. Yesterday, right here in the spot, I received a love confession.
しおりさんよね。
Yes, that was like 2 minutes ago.
私と付き合って。まさか私が告白されるなんて。
The voices seem really, really...
設定画面よ。
Well, they're already at max. I think. Oh, no, I can turn it up more. Never mind. There we go. Mikoto Kurahashi. The green is the same as it's always been? I don't think I believe that. Mikoto, Mikoto, Mikoto. I repeat the name of my girlfriend to myself over and over again. My girlfriend. The girl I'm dating. I can't yet call her the girl I like. I mean, up until yesterday, I didn't even know her name. I still don't know anything about her or her personality.
じゃあそういうことで。
After a brief exchange, Mikoto turns to leave.
よろしければ一緒に。
It's like, okay, we're dating now, bye.
明日からにしてくれる？
Oh.
ちょっと今日は疲れてるの。
That's valid.
はい。わかりました。
Wait, so you asked me out on a day where you're really tired? Okay.
クラスと出席番号教えてくださいますか？お手紙書きますので。
A letter! Aww.
2年椿組出席番号10番。
Camellia class.
2年生なのですね。椿組の10番。
Hey. Wanna go out? Sure. Okay, bye. See you again. Never. Yeah, that's what it feels like right now. She's probably just a little awkward in, in how to act. Hi, good evening. All I know about her is her name and class. Since she came to confess to me at the end of the school day, I thought we'd walk home together and chat. This isn't what I thought dating would be like. But perhaps she was just nervous yesterday. Thank you, book. If we walk home together today, maybe I'll be able to talk with her and get to know her a little better. Maybe. Ohayo! Arriving at my classroom and greeted by my classmate Maho. Maho and I have been friends since elementary school and we always end up in the same class. Oh, that's lucky. She's a cheerful girl and knowledgeable about all kinds of things. She's also kind and caring and everyone likes her. I know. Hi, Hylia. Good evening. How are you doing? Perhaps she knows something about Mikoto. Oh. You just got an ad for Persona 4. One day I'll play Persona 4 as well. Is she like really well known or something? That's why I'm asking. Oh, because she's super pretty. I've attended Kikyo Women's Academy since elementary school, but unlike Maho, I don't know many people outside my own limited social circle. Everyone seems to want to date her! Well, I have bad news for them. I'm dating her, apparently. Sure, she struck me somewhat aloof, but an unattainable holy grail, really? Grain? Wait, hold on, grain? Oh yeah, that is a typo. Okay. Good. An unattainable holy grain? Yes, she wants to date me, some plain girl she's never even spoken to. No, I in fact do not know who Yumi is, we haven't seen her yet. Yumi Kurahashi. We've been in the same classes a few times, but I've never spoken with her. She's sick a lot, so she rarely comes to school. When she does, she generally studies by herself in the infirmary. That's one heck of a metaphor. It's like unattainable holy grain. Okay. Yeah, she seems like the type of character to not socialize much. So Mao knows Mikoto, but they aren't close. You see, she asked me out. Yeah, we're besties. I know nothing about her, but we're besties. Don't say that. I decided it's best not to mention the whole confession and dating thing. Yeah. If Mikoto is so in demand, why on earth would she want me? There are clearly plenty of other fish in her sea. I can't understand her appeal. She's stunning. Just thinking back on yesterday makes my heart skip a beat. Her long hair and big eyes, her graceful movements, who wouldn't fall for her? Still, it's not like I'm going to fall for someone just because of their looks. Besides, none of it even seems real yet. Am I really dating one of the most popular girls in school? Apparently. I like the subtle movements and the sprite changes. It's like there's not much to it, but like with the expression changes and the eyes opening and closing, sometimes it's good.
な恋とか。そうなの？じゃあ真帆ちゃん、恋はしてみたいんだ。そりゃそういう相手がいれば、しおりだって恋に憧れたりはするでしょ。どうかな。私はまだよくわかんないや。
I'm dating Mikoto, but it's not like I'm in love with her. Okay, you have not even been dating for like a full 24 hours yet.
しおりに好きな人ができたりしたら教えてね。恋の相談とか乗るからね。ありがとう。
I still can't even tell my best friend that I'm already dating someone. It's okay. You'll get there. At break time, I take out my letter writing set from my bag. Ooh, pretty. Cell phones are forbidden within the grounds of Kikyo Women's Academy. Excuse me? The rules are relaxed a little once you get to university, but until then, the school rules are law. If you need to bring a cell phone with you for personal reasons, you have to leave it in the faculty lounge, which is more trouble than it's worth. Because of these rules, many students didn't bother owning a cell phone at all. But you guys go outside the school sometimes, right? You're telling me you don't even have phones, like, at all? Since none of my friends have a cell phone, neither do I. Okay. So to this day, if you want to convey something to someone, it has to be done either in person or via letter. Summer! I begin writing my letter to Mikoto. This is Shiori writing my first letter to you. Thank you for yesterday. Thank you. That sounds weird, but it's too late now. My classes finish at 4 p.m. today. Would you like to walk home together? I'll be waiting for you at the entrance just after 4 p.m.
Yes.
How are you going to give this to her now? I put the letter into an envelope, write Mikoto's name on it, then head to the entrance hall. The entrance hall holds our shoe lockers, which double as mailboxes. So long as you know someone's year in class, you can deliver a letter to them. Aha. It's an old, enduring tradition at the academy. Our seat numbers are like zip codes, and friends often leave little notes for one another in their shoe lockers. Even clubs communicate with their members via a polite message popped into their locker. Oh, that does look cute. My pulse speeds up as I think about posting the letter into Mikoto's locker. Will she read it? Will she come meet me after class? With these thoughts in my mind, I slip the letter into her shoe locker. Realizing I'm red in the face, I look around to make sure I haven't been seen, then hurry back to my classroom. You totally screwed up and put the letter in the wrong locker. Honestly, I've seen that happen in shoujo manga. Where there was a confession letter and then they put it in the wrong box. And a bunch of, like, you know, miscommunication occurred. Never having dated anyone before, the simple act of delivering a letter to my girlfriend is new and exciting. I wonder what we'll talk about later. Since she's my girlfriend, does that mean we'll go out on dates? Or maybe we should get to know one another better before moving on to that step. Should I give her a gift? Something homemade? Thinking back on the romances I've read about in books, I feel my heart flutter in anticipation. Oh my god. She's like, oh, I'm not sure I like her yet. I should get to know her better, but she's already thinking 500 steps more. Like, oh, ho, 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 ho. After class, I wait nervously for Mikoto. Wondering whether she might have already left, I watch the other students heading out to the school gates. There she is. Suddenly I realize she's standing right beside me. She wears the same disgruntled expression as yesterday. Is it because this is our first time walking home together? Is she nervous? Mao said she was aloof, but maybe she's just a woman of few words. Her sister Yumi isn't exactly sociable either. Oh, Enoshima. She averts her gaze from me, her tone icy. Then she sets off walking, so I trot after her. Wow, damn, okay. She comes up to me and is all, I read your letter. I wonder what I can. No, I hope she's really just awkward about it. Doesn't know how to actually act. The hydrangea and full hydrangea. I love these flowers, but I don't know how to pronounce them. Are in full bloom along the street leading away from the academy. During this season, Kiki Women's Academy's Hydrangea Hill becomes quite the tourist spot. Mikoto is taller than me with long legs, and accordingly her pace is a little quicker than mine. Still, I managed to keep up, hurrying along beside her. We haven't yet exchanged a word. I keep trying to catch her eye, but she doesn't even look my way. You don't have much time, you have to tell me something important? Gonna make a pizza and you're a bean. Now look. Alright, you enjoy your pizza. Thank you so much for coming by. But I can't exactly voice my consternation. Realizing I'll have to be the one to start a conversation, I try to think of something to ask her. When I open my mouth, she looks over at me with displeasure. We've only just met. She may have asked me out, but she still doesn't really know anything about me. I wish I had a pizza. I wanted to like buy one of the frozen ones when I went grocery shopping yesterday, and then I was out of the grocery store and like halfway home and I remembered, fuck, I forgot about the pizza and I didn't want to go back. Yes. Chrysanthemum. Ah. Oh! She doesn't seem the least bit interested. Perhaps she already knows these things. It's like your first introduction, like first day at school. So everyone talk a little about yourself, talk about your hobbies, what's your name. I always hated that. It's like, what do I say in regards to hobbies? What do I even say? This is so awkward. Having a girlfriend isn't anything like I expected. Putting yesterday aside, I thought we could talk today, but... Your name is Joe. Nice to meet you, Joe. Would you like to share with the class some of your hobbies and what you get up to outside of school? Joe, mama! Why did I fall for that? I hate you. I really oh man. Joe meow. No hobbies or interests. Okay, damn, okay. Sure. After giving her rapid fire introduction with an expression like she'd rather be doing anything, but she turns away from me again. I mean, you can also just ask her, hey, why did you ask me out? That is a thing you can do. There don't seem to be many other ways to interpret her attitude towards me. She seems cold and disinterested, even hateful. It feels like she'd probably treat a stranger better. She really needs to tell her that she's going to become her hobby interest. Hey, what do you like to do outside of school? What? Oh, she does actually ask. Nice. Her lips move slightly as though quivering with anger. I don't think it's anger. Maybe she's really shy. I immediately regret saying anything. Oh, okay, never mind, it is anger. She turns her head away from me, a clear indication that this conversation is over. Was it rude of me to ask? Maybe. After all, you wouldn't ask out someone you disliked, would you? Yeah, but... I decide not to bring it up again. Probably not. Well, I wanted to spend time with you today. I wish I could sew. My voice cracks as I try to dispel the impression that I've skipped club activities to walk home with her. Club members have access to the school sewing room and whatever, to work individually on sewing crafts, dressmaking and so on. Everyone works on a project at their own pace and some people choose to do them at home.
がある
Ah. Seems like a relatively relaxing club then. She keeps her gaze fixed straight ahead, showing not a trace of interest. I'm not exactly a fountain of wit at the best of times. I have no idea what to say in a situation like this. Maybe I should read a book on conversational techniques.
みこと先輩ってユミさんのお姉さんなんですね。私知らなくて驚きました。知らなかった。はい、ユミさんとは何度か同じクラスになりましたが、お話しした。
It's so interesting because the opening like banner for the game has them,
でも私の
you know, smiling at each other and everything. So I'm really surprised that it's starting off like this.
真帆ちゃんがお二人が姉妹だって教えてくれたんです。真帆ちゃんね。聞いたことあるかも。ずっといろんなこと面倒見てくれてる。
Wow, you're smiling when talking about my friend, but not when talking to me.
そうなんです。
I'm delighted to finally receive a reaction from her.
すごくいい子なんですよ。面倒見が良くて、お友達が多くて、それに明るくてしっかりしてて、私の自慢のお友達なんです。
She does sound like a good friend though.
そう。
Oh! Mikoto sticks her nose in the air, disinterested once again. I thought I was getting somewhere for a moment, but apparently not. What should I do?
みこと先輩、ユミさんに似てますね。そりゃ姉妹だからね。それもあります。
Please, I'm trying to keep this conversation going. I falter. Oh. Yumi Kudahashi's in the same year as me, and we've been in the same class a few times. However, since she spends most of her time in the infirmary, I only encounter her a few times a year at the start of term assemblies. She's notoriously introverted and will only speak to Mao and a few other select friends. Mao told me the reason for this. She's always been a sickly girl and so heads straight to the infirmary upon arriving at school. If she's that sick, wouldn't it make more sense for her to, I don't know, get taught at home? She has to risk even going to school only to then be like not healthy and then stick around the infirmary the entire day. Like, I'd rather be at home studying than in the infirmary if I have to study on my own, but who knows. Lots of students wanted to be friends with such a mysterious, quirky girl. They would hang around the infirmary trying to get her attention. Eventually, she started allowing only a select group of people into infirmary room too. Because of this, she's apathetic towards most people, and only Maho is allowed to visit her these days. Which makes me wonder whether perhaps Mikoto is of a similar disposition. Still, I figure saying that to her would be rude, so I hold my tongue. Gotta have the perfect attendance. Mm-hmm.
まさかユミさんとお話ししたこと自体があまりないですし、違います。
Aww.
真央ちゃんもユミさんはいい子だって言ってましたし、ユミさんみたいにクールなのかなとか。
クール。
いいわよ、別に取り繕わなくても。自分が性格悪いの分かってるつもりだから。
Excuse me?
いえ、そんなことは。女の子のそういうところ嫌いだわ。別に思ったこと言ってくれていいから。
Huh?
そんなことはないのです。
I wanted to give you a compliment.
なるべく思ったことは伝えるように。
I try my best to be straight with you, bestie. You're both girls. Mikoto sends me a sharp look before quickly turning away again. This is so awkward. Maybe I should have phrased things differently. Maybe I've upset her. How am I supposed to smooth over this situation? We're on the platform at Kamakura Station with about 5 minutes to wait until the next train. Due to the timing, there are lots of kids in uniforms from neighboring schools milling about.
2年生の授業はどうですか？どうって何？難しいとか。
Mikoto senpai heaves a sigh.
何も話すことないなら無理に話題を探さなくていいから。
Oh my god.
すみません。
You don't have to be so fucking rude. I shut my mouth in the face of her exasperated tone. There's so many things I want to ask her. What does she like? What are her hobbies? What's her favorite lesson? She told you she doesn't have any hobbies though, so that question kind of... You know. The least she could do is answer when asked, but that strategy hasn't worked so far. This girl confessed to me and asked me out, yet I still don't know the first thing about her. I want to know more. I stare at her grumpy face. No, it's really not you that's rude. That word is still bugging me. Am I not allowed to ask her why she wanted me to be her girlfriend? Surely she must have seen me around, yet somehow it doesn't seem like that's the case. I quietly regard her profile as we wait for the train. She's so pretty, in an untouchable sort of way. I thought a love confession would be more romantic. I thought dating someone would be more enjoyable. Does she really want those things from me? We're dating, but it's not like she's ever told me she likes me. I don't know how she even knew about me, let alone why she confessed to me. I want to think that she saw me around and fell for me from afar, but... The train arrives and we get on. It sets off, the car rocking and clattering. I've commuted on the Enoshima Electric Railway for years, so I instinctively know at what points the car will jolt. I continue to watch Mikoto, neither of us saying anything. She really is stunningly beautiful. She's like the kind of model or actress you'd see on TV, with her lustrous dark hair and white long lashed eye. Dark hair? Sure. Her straight nose and smooth pale skin. Mao said she was popular and I can see why. Hers is the kind of beauty that can draw you in and swallow you up. Hey. Cute. 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 Me. Did she just call me cute? This gorgeous creature called me cute? Why did you ask out a girl then if you're so... Why did you ask her out of a girl if you're going to complain about the general populace of girls always do this? I do not want to share my birthday with you anymore if this is how you keep acting, lady. I didn't intend to put myself down or to make her feel uncomfortable. I tried desperately to explain that I truly meant it. I really think you're gorgeous. Oh darn it, I want so badly to explain. What if I've inadvertently offended her? What if she doesn't like me anymore? We started dating without really knowing one another. The moment she realizes she's made the wrong decision, it's all over. Well, I like Shiori. She seems like a very earnest person. Damn! What are you? A bully? Did you ask me out to bully me? What's your fucking problem? You really don't like Mikoto? Yeah, it's it feels like maybe she was there to ask me out at this point with the way she's acting. No one has ever said anything like that to me before, and hearing it from the person I'm dating makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
嫌味なのに
So it's a compliment. I'll take it. Fuck you.
嫌味だとしても嬉しいんです
I feel like Mikoto is gifting me words and feelings I've never encountered before, even if they do come with thorns.
変な子すみません
She looks away from me, exasperated. Nope, she definitely doesn't like me. An announcement blares through the train announcing my station, Gokurakuchi, as the next stop.
私
Gokurakuchi? I don't know where the emphasis is on that word.
ええ
The train pulls into my station.
お先に失礼いたします
Stepping off the train, I bow my hat to Mikoto. You could at least say goodbye. She glares back at me, same as ever, without offering up any goodbye. Okay, damn.
今日はありがとうございましたよかったら明日も一緒に帰りませんか私まだみこと先輩のこと何も
How are you having this conversation if you already got off the train?
もっと知りたいですもっとたくさんお話ししたいです一緒にいる間少しだけでも笑ってもらえるようになりたいです
I didn't know why she asked me out, but perhaps this is some sort of fate. We don't have to act like a couple. I just want to know more about her so to be able to talk with her. I want her to smile. I want to see her face light up. 何も知らない Okay, I wish I knew what you said. Mikoto's lips move. The train's buzzer sounds drowning out her voice.
すみません
Something something, I don't know anything, but I don't know what.
いいわ明日も帰りましょうはいまたお手紙書きますね
I waved to her as the train doors slightly closed. She agreed to meet me again tomorrow. I'm so happy. I don't know why she asked me out, and I'm kind of scared to ask. Still, the fact that she did ask me out means she noticed me, and there must have been a reason for that. The thought makes my heart flutter and my cheeks flush. Maybe neither of us really have feelings for the other yet, and I don't know whether we'll become a real couple, but maybe we can at least become friends. And perhaps by spending time with her, I can change myself. Right now, I can't even have a proper conversation with her. That's not your fault. But I hope that can be remedied. I hope I can make her smile. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Okay, this time there's really nothing to hear.
しらじらしい何も知らないふりしちゃって
What?
脅迫状まで送って私と付き合いたかったの
Huh? What are you talking about? Huh? What? Oh. Oceans and lakes. Oh, that's a episode she that's where that's a gorgeously animated opening. Art and character design Sheep D. Oh, she's smiling on the one. That's a plot twist I didn't see coming. Me either. Like what? Excuse me? I'm not joining to tangled web. Well, I wonder who is blackmailing her, because it's not us. Oh, she's... Oh. Wow, those two are gorgeous. Hello and welcome to dating in a girls only academy. Someone else with the exact same name. Dun dun dun! You also got the wrong person. Imagine! I don't like girls. Okay, damn. I don't trust them. You can never tell what they're thinking. It's always the same. They act like sweet, innocent little angels, but beneath the facade they all hide secrets. They're obsessed with looks to the point where people's feelings don't matter. I've always felt this way ever since I started at the academy. Okay, but you're going to an exclusive women's only academy that apparently has you guys growing up to be perfect and presentable ladies. So it's happened to me so many times. I've trusted other girls, thought we were friends, and then they've gone and talked about me behind my back, treated other people like they're beneath them. On and on it went, until I couldn't trust a single girl at this academy. There's a letter in my shoe locker. I don't even need to read it to know what it will say. I've always admired you, or I've fallen in love with you, and then at the end something like, please go out with me. I'm looking forward for your reply. We can be friends first. Let's be pen pals. Could we hang out? Etc. etc. The stock phrases crowd the fancy stationery. Letters from girls I've never even spoken to. Saying they love me, asking me to date them and all that jazz. But they don't know me. They only want all this from me because of my looks. I write back the familiar phrases, apologizing and turning them down. Then I slip the note into the shoe locker of the faceless girl. I've done it so many times, I may as well just have a printout ready. Jesus Christ, girl, you're what? You're 15 or something? I know there are lots of fish in the sea, but I'm not interested in dating. I don't think I could spend that much time around someone, no matter how much I trusted them. Even being around my classmates makes me feel stifled sometimes. I just don't like girls. Okay. It wasn't like this back in elementary school. We never talked about love or dating other girls. But when we started middle school, people started to get into the academy's letter writing culture. Soon they were writing letters not only to communicate information, but to spread gossip and backbiting. And then puberty hit. We started noticing couples among the older girls. I think that's when things began to change. In class, people often talked about who was the prettiest or coolest among the upperclassmen. Probably because it's an all-girls school, dating another girl became something to aspire to. Then, although I never joined in such conversations, at some point I became the subject of them. Having said that, no one who actually knows me and my entire personality has ever confessed to me. I don't look down on them for it or anything, they're all free to do as they please. But being the target of someone's affections for my looks rather than who I really am isn't something I appreciate. Here at the academy I feel trapped. Whenever I open my shoe locker upon arriving at school, I always experience a brief moment of tension. As I open the door, I hope to myself that there'll be nothing there today. There it is, a simple white, unaddressed envelope. I doubt it's from one of my few friends. So annoying. I wish all the shoe lockers were locked up so we could just message one another by phone. But even now, cell phones are still forbidden on school grounds. Personally, I don't see how banning phones helps us to become proper little ladies. If you could just use cell phones, I wouldn't have to deal with this annoying battle for my affections between random people. Maybe the battle is spurred on by the fact that I'm not dating anyone. Maybe other girls treat romance like a game. Confess to someone, anyone, and if you score, then lucky you. The truth is, despite all the letters I get, people hardly ever come to speak with me in person. I'm starting to think that maybe finding someone to date would be the least annoying option. Even if we were just fake dating. After all, only the two of us involved would need to know the truth about our relationship. Is what sort of blackmail someone could have on a high school girl. Honestly, that's what I'm looking forward. Like, I'm hoping we get to see what the blackmail seems to be. You're really cynical, aren't you? Making sure no one around me can see, I carefully open the envelope. I'm expecting the usual confession of love, but this is something different. Ooh! This isn't your average love letter. It's a kind of anonymous message you sometimes see on TV. One of those patched together from letters cut off newspapers and magazines. Narrowing my eyes to pause the odd design, I read the message. Mikoto Kurahashi. If you want no harm to come to your sister, Yumi Kurahashi, you will confess your feelings to Shiori Minato, first year chrysanthemum. You must not tell anyone about this. That's the blackmail? Oh, you don't want anything to happen to your sister. Confess to someone. Like, really? Really? Unable to comprehend the contents, I read them over again. Harm to my sister, Yumi. I should confess to a girl in first year? What the heck? Hurriedly, I shove the letter into my bag and take a deep breath. This is a prank. That's all it is. I don't have to go along with this stupid joke. Someone is just annoyed that I refuse to date anyone, that's all. I've forgotten the name already, but the letter told me to confess to someone in particular. What's that all about? Thank you for the braid redeem. I mean, you can't just order someone to date someone else. I've got to push it out of my mind. It's just a prank. And yet, because I mentioned Yumi, I can't stop thinking about the darn letter. My sister, Yumi Kurahashi, is only a year younger than me. She's always been sickly and she doesn't attend school often. When she does, you find her in the infirmary room too. She has to go to the hospital regularly and is sometimes admitted. Even when she does come to school, she often spends her time sleeping. She really is the picture of a sick little girl. Although she seems like she could drop dead at any minute, she's made it this far. The letter said something about harm coming to her. Whenever she's at school, Yumi stays in the infirmary room too and never goes anywhere else. Someone could easily set some kind of trap for her. You guys are like 15 though. Couldn't you go to the school and actually be like, hey, I'm sorry, I received a threatening letter and it's not even threatening towards me but towards my sister. Can we do something about this? Not that I have any faith in the school actually doing something, because I mean, it's a school, but still. You don't need to deal with this yourself. For example, balancing a box cutter atop the door or hanging something from the ceiling. The thought of her being hurt sends a shiver up my spine. With Yumi, even the smallest injury could be life-threatening. Infirmary room 2 is located slightly apart from the main infirmary in a small classroom at the end of the first floor corridor. No one goes there unless they're asked to. My sister only comes to school on the days she's feeling up to it, and I see a lot of her at home, so it's been a while since I was last down this way.
Yumi, iru?
Hi! Wow! That is not an infirmary room. That is a private bedroom. Infirmary room 2 is a room set aside for sickly girls like Yumi. Since no one else but her uses it, it's basically like her own private bedroom. She brings her own things from home, decorates it how she pleases, and generally spends her time here in comfort.
仕方ないでしょ?
仕方ないでしょ?
私って布団や枕が少しでも変わるとダメなタイプなのよね.
I really don't understand why you don't just, I don't know, get homeschooled though. Wouldn't it be more comfortable to be at home fully?
お医者様にも言われてるし.
Noticing the sweet scent in the air, I realize that she's burning essential oils.
お茶でも入れましょうか.
She even has a tea set and sweets at the ready. Is she really allowed to do all this at school? Now I understood why people aren't allowed in here. If they knew about it, other students would be clamoring to spend time here too.
それで家でいくらでも会える妹にわざわざ会いに来るなんてもしかして何かあった? いや、そうじゃないんだけど.
There isn't really, and yet I can't stop thinking about the threatening letter. Not that I can tell Yumi about it. I can take away her safe space due to some stupid prank. This is the only place Yumi can thrive. Otherwise she'd just be sleeping the days away at home. Okay, yeah, that's true though. Change in environment, blah blah blah.
最近変なこととかなかった? 何突然変なことって? 例えば誰かに監視されてるとか、この部屋に変なものがあったとか. 何それ?
Yumi giggles.
ことったら何か変なミステリーでも見たの? そうじゃないけど.
At least for now, it doesn't seem like anything is out of the ordinary. The blackmail letter didn't mention any deadline. I don't think they'd expect me to take action the same day I received it. I probably have a few days before I have to confess.
とにかく何か変なことがあったら報告. 変なことって何？なんだろう、なんか罠とか。まあ、黒板消しが落ちてくるとかかしら。そういうの昔の漫画であるわよね。そういうんじゃないけど、とにかく不審物があったらすぐ先生か私に言って。不審物？あらやだ。
How do you go from how do you go from the black body razor to a bomb?
茶化さないでよ。怒らないでよ。わかったから。
Yumi spent most of her time removed from regular school life with her nose buried in books. She must be starving for some excitement. I bet she craves some fun in her life.
まったく、みことといい母さんといい心配性なんだから。
I'm about to make a comeback, but I swallow it. If Yumi found out about the blackmail letter and the fact that she's being targeted by someone, she'd be delighted and I'd never hear the end of it. She's the kind of girl who'd enjoy the excitement. I absolutely, definitely can't tell her.
そんなこと言ったって、ユミのことが心配なのよ。
It's just a prank and I know I should forget about it, but the fact that they brought Yumi into it has my mind in turmoil. What if something happens to Yumi because I ignored the message? It's one thing if they do something to me, but I won't stand for Yumi getting hurt because of me. She's my precious little sister and it's my duty to keep her safe. I don't want any harm to befall her, especially not considering her fragile physical state and what she's been through in life. That's why this is so hard.
みこと、いらっしゃい。
I kneel down and let her wrap her arms around me. Aww. Achievement unlocked, sweet indulgence. Yumi's soft warmth envelops me. Can I take a picture of this? Yes, I can. I close my eyes, severing it.
何があったかわからないけど、私のことで心配かけてごめんなさいね。
It is really soft. Quietly, gently, she strokes my hand.
そんなこと。
She must have sensed that I'm hiding something from her. She's my little sister after all. But because she spent all her time alone, nose buried in a book, she somehow matured faster than me. Matured. Oh my god. Before I knew it, her choice of words and way of thinking had advanced beyond mine. She's quick to notice changes in other people, and whenever I'm struggling, she's there to comfort me. Honestly, she plays the part of the older sister better than I do.
もうすぐ死ぬような私のために、みことが我慢したり。
Shh! Don't say that!
ないのよ。そんなこと言わないでよ。そうね。ごめんなさい。大事に思ってくれているあなたに申し訳ないわよね。
She always says things like that. Whenever she talks about dying, it makes my chest go tight. It feels like she's dismissing my love for her, and that
で
hurts.
も、私のために無理はしないでちょうだい。 私はあなたの枷にはなりたくないのよ。
Maybe because of our sibling bond, Yumi always seems to understand my feelings. Without me saying a word, she always knows when I'm dealing with something. It's reassuring and I'm grateful to her for it. Aww. Softly, quietly, Yumi strokes my hair. For as long as I can remember, I've been told that I have to look after Yumi. Yet at some point, it started to feel like she was the one looking after me, and I like it this way.
ユミの方こそ自分を大事にしてね。してるわよ。それなりに。
She's so precious to me. She's my special, beloved little sister who will always be mine to protect. I don't like other girls. I don't know what they're thinking. I can trust them. But Yumi is the one girl I can count on. I know what she's thinking and she understands what I'm feeling. My precious baby sister. I have to admit, I still think the word baby sister is so weird because, you know, when I hear baby, I always assume like a really small child still. So it's like, oh, my baby sister is like, I don't know, a child between the age of 4 to 8 or something. But no, it's like, you know, just a little sister, no matter how old she is. Which is why I can't stand by and let someone threaten her. As much as I want to forget about the blackmail letter, I can't.
1年菊組。
Since I'm not a member of any clubs and don't have any younger friends, I don't have much reason to come to the first year classrooms. It feels like people are staring at me. It brings home to me that I really am popular with the younger girls, despite never doing anything to warrant it.
ちょっといい？
Warrant it.
はい。
When I address a nearby girl, she shrinks back in surprise.
このクラスにミナとしおりって女の子いる？どの子か教えてほしいんだけど。ミナトさんですか？あの子です。
But that's so weird. No, she's asking us out because she's getting blackmailed. She thinks it's us blackmailing her. But it's not us. She indicates a meek-looking girl with a lacy ribbon in her hair. She's slender and delicate, with an almost ephemeral air to her. I'm supposed to confess to this girl and date her? It doesn't feel real. I can't imagine myself with her.
ミナトさんにご用事ですか？呼びましょうか？
No, it's okay.
いいの。ごめんね。
Not wanting to linger too long, I quickly make my exit. Then I take out the blackmail letter and look over it again. It definitely says confess and date. Most people would reject someone they don't know. After all, receiving a sudden confession of love from a stranger is similar to me receiving letters from girls I don't know. If someone was asked out by someone they didn't know, they'd be confused and reject them, or at least just say, let's be friends. If it's unlikely that a confession would lead to a relationship, then there's no point to the blackmail letter. So if there's a reason they're making me do this... I've disposed of every love letter I received. I don't remember the names of all the girls who sent them. Perhaps the Shiori girl sent me a letter and I turned her down. She didn't. But she's refusing to give up and has now resorted to blackmail. No. Perhaps she's trying whatever tactics she can in order to get close to me. That would make sense. That's not true! She looked like such a quiet girl. Could she really be willing to threaten Yumi with harm in order to get me to date her? Is she that desperate to be my girlfriend? No, I won't stand for it. That's it. I really hate girls. I don't know what they're thinking. Behind that sweet, innocent exterior, she could be thinking the most horrible things. Like you are right now? She could be willing to go to whatever lengths it takes to get what she wants. Well, I won't let her. Anger wells up in me at the thought that the girl might be the culprit. Shiori Minato. I remember that name, and I won't let her get away with this. Just because she's threatened Yumi doesn't mean I can be forced into a relationship with someone I don't know. I don't want her to think she can get everything to go her way. Besides, is it even possible for her to hurt Yumi, or is she just saying it to scare me? If I don't do anything, will I get another letter? If it's just a prank, this will probably be the end of it. For the time being, I decide to give it a few days to wait and see. If nothing happens, then all's well that ends well. And then Yumi got hurt. Dun dun dun. I decided to wait and see for a few days. However, that doesn't stop my thoughts from constantly turning to the blackmail letter. It proves impossible to fully erase it from my mind. Out of an abundance of caution, I find myself stopping by the infirmary every day. I let the pointed comment roll off me. I look over the room as has become my routine. Nothing seems out of place. Yumi's definitely suspicious of me, considering I ask her the same questions every day. That's because I am. It's true that I've been feeling uneasy since receiving the blackmail letter. Although there hasn't been a follow-up letter, I still worry that something might happen to Yumi. Perhaps it was just a prank, but how long am I supposed to live in this constant state of anxiety? A week? A month? Longer? When will I be able to relax knowing Yumi is safe? That's when it happens. Yumi's shawl slips slightly, revealing a glimpse of bandages. I grab hold of Yumi's arm. The bandages wrapped around it were hidden by her shawl.
ごめんなさいね。心配かけて。
I mean, it happens, yeah. You can cut yourself with scissors really easily.
どうしてすぐ言ってくれなかったの？
Because you've been on edge the entire week.
ごめんなさい。みことが心配すると思ったから。
It's an awfully specific denial. Yeah, that's also true, but it is a thing.
自分で怪我をしたって言ったって。
It is a thing, so it's not as... It's surprisingly not as specific that I would be suspicious about that having happened, and she's just making up the scissor thing.
そうだけど。
So... Maybe she's telling the truth and it was just a silly accident, but I can't wipe away the doubt clouding my mind.
本当に大丈夫なの？私に嘘ついてない？え、すぐ治るわ。痛みもないし、お風呂も大丈夫って。
Yumi smiles reassuringly at me. She's always like this. She hides things from me so as not to worry me. When she's hospitalized or when she isn't feeling well, she does her best not to let anything slip. Perhaps the wound really is a result of her own carelessness, but someone out there might have plotted to hurt her, and Yumi might know and be hiding it from me. And am I doomed to feel this way until I find out who sent the letter? Do I have to spend every waking moment worrying?
みこと？大丈夫？大丈夫。また来るわ。とにかくもう隠し事はしないでね。私もできることをするから。ちょっとみこと変なこと考えないでよ。分かってる。
分かってる。So
告白すればそれでいいの。付き合えばそれで満足なの。そうすればユミが傷つくことはないの。
If that will placate the culprit and if it'll keep Yumi safe, I'll do it. I'll do it for Yumi. Of course, there will be no real feelings involved. Or rather, there will be feelings of resentment and hate. I'll make her regret ever sending the letter. You don't know it if it was her.
みなとしおりさんよね。はい。
The girl regards me with bewilderment. This is the girl who sent the blackmail letter. All I know about her is her name.
私と付き合って。
Her eyes widen in surprise, then she tilts her head curiously.
お名前伺ってもいいですか？
This is all so fake. She knows very well who I am, yet she's pretending like she doesn't. Then she pretends to consider. Her acting is flawless. That's because it's not acting! It's scary how easily girls can lie. You're so fucking stupid.
よろしくお願いします。
There we have it. She's accepted my confession. Everything has gone the way she wanted it to. She has a relationship bought by blackmail. Is she satisfied now? What will being her girlfriend even entail? Is just a label enough? I have no idea. I can't even begin to comprehend it. I'm so curious of your theories, right? Oh!
出席番号教えてくださいますか？お手紙書きますので。2年椿組出席番号10番。2年生なのですね。椿組の10番。
After giving her my name and class, I leave. I have to get away from that bemused smile. She's the one who sent the letter. She must have already known my details. It seems she's intent on keeping up the charade. As I walk away, I glance back over my shoulder at her perplexed expression. This is fine. I can do it. It's not like I have to actually have feelings for her. All I have to do is date her and Yumi won't come to any harm. Good evening! Even so... I hate that she's getting her way. I hate that she's holding Yumi hostage. I hate that she's putting on a phony, innocent face while mocking me on the inside. I hate it, but there's nothing I can do about it. You could talk about it and realize that you're definitely blaming the wrong person here. It's vexing, frustrating, unbearable. Because now an innocent girl has to suffer for it. The next day, I find a letter asking me to walk home with her. Her penmanship is dainty. I heave a heavy sigh. I can't believe I'm now dating a blackmailer. Nope, big nope. But her face, it would have been more understandable if she were a very obvious mean girl. But she looked perfectly ordinary, meek, even, and very ladylike. What is the world coming to when such cruel intentions can lurk within a girl like that? My god. When I make my way to the exit at the end of the day, she's there waiting for me.
お疲れ様です。
I barely acknowledge her. No sooner have I glanced at her than I looked away again.
お家どのあたりですか？鵠沼の方。でしたら江ノ電ですかね。私極楽寺なので途中まで一緒に帰れますね。そうね。
She must already have known that too. I turn away instead of walking at a brisk pace. You expect normal activities, but the basic plot here is that the girl on the right and the girl on the left, they're now dating. The brown-haired one, she asked the girl, Shiori here, out, but she's really mean about it because she actually got a blackmail letter asking her to confess to Shiori, and she thinks that Shiori wrote the blackmail letter, which she in fact did not do. Shiori's like, wow, why is this crazy good-looking girl asking me out? I don't even know her. And she's really... And, it's a mess. We've been here for an hour and it's a mess. Yo, have a good stream. Try to look a bit while I work. Okay. Hope you have a good day at work. She looks startled for a moment but trots after me. She beams at me as she asks various questions. How long is she planning to keep up the act? It's not an act. It's not an act. She even lied about not knowing Yumi and I were sisters. Sounds like fun times for the VOD later. Yeah. Well, right now it's like kind of we got a little backstory on the brown-haired one, but now we're seeing everything happen from her perspective. She trails off. She was probably about to say something about her unsociable, just like Yumi.
まさかユミさんとお話ししたこと自体があまりないですし。あー、違います。
I feel sorry for Shiori.
ユミさんみたいにクールなのかなとか、そういうことを思っただけでして。いいわよ、別に取り繕わなくても。
Like, I feel like it's even more a setup for like Shiori than it is as for Mikoto, because this would be a very elaborate plot. Could also be a very elaborate plot to bully Shiori into being treated really badly by Mikoto, because Mikoto thinks Shiori is the one blackmailing her. I wouldn't be acting like this. I wouldn't be acting this way if she weren't blackmailing me. We wouldn't even have met. She isn't though! She seems nonplussed by my refusal to engage in conversation. Surely it'd be better for both of us if she just put an end to this already. Of course, it's all about my looks. For her and for all the other girls who confessed their feelings to me. Does she not know the first thing about my personality? Or did she think that if we were dating, I'd suddenly be nice to her? That isn't going to happen. There's no reason for me to be nice to some girl I barely know. I said it as a sarcastic, scathing remark. Behind her pretty face lurked the nastiest thoughts. She's a girl acting as girls do. She doesn't seem to catch the sarcasm in my comment. Feeling stupid, I look away. Why do I have to be manipulated by this girl? As I'm seating to myself, she suddenly thanks me.
とうございます。あまりそういう風に言われたことがないので。嫌味だったんだけど。あれ？すみません。真に受けてはいけなかったでしょうか。別にそうじゃないけど。変な子。
She really is a total weirdo. Is she seriously this committed to the lie? Girls are truly terrifying creatures. Oh my god, get over yourself. The train pulls in Gokurakuchi Station. She finally gets off.
今日はありがとうございました。よかったら明日も一緒に帰りませんか？
What is her deal?
私まだ
Oh, she's trying to get to know you because she thinks that you're actually genuinely interested in her.
もっと知りたいです。もっとたくさん一緒にいる間少しだけ
I get that being blackmailed about your sister possibly coming to harm is a really bad thing, but I don't like her very much so far. She wants to see me smile. Whose fault does she think it is that I can't crack a smile? I see right through her innocent act. You really don't. She doesn't care about my feelings in the slightest.
何も知らないふりしちゃって脅迫状まで送って私と付き合いたかったの。
At that exact moment, the train's buzzer sounds, drowning out my words.
すみません、聞き取れず。いいわ、明日も帰りましょう。はい、またお手紙書きますね。
This sure is a bumpy start to a relationship. Smiling brightly, she steps out of the train. She waves to me as the train pulls out of the station. What a strange girl. She sends me a blackmail letter, then acts as though she knows nothing about me. Because she doesn't! Communication is hard. Here's Miscommunication, the visual novel, apparently. Well, one of them. I wonder how many stories just wouldn't exist if the miscommunication part was actually solved immediately. Is she so desperate to date me that she go to these lengths? Will she simply be happy I'm her girlfriend, even if I treat her like trash? She chatted happily, attempting to find topics of conversation. I really don't get it. I've done what I set out to do. I confessed, and now we're dating. The letter didn't say anything about being a good girlfriend. So long as Yumi's safe, that's all that matters. If to be considered dating means having to endure half an hour together after school, I can give up that bit of time on a weekday for Yumi's sake. I can handle that much for the time being, but...
ありがとうございます。はい、またお手紙書きますね。
What if she wasn't acting? Nope, that's out of the question. I can't let myself be fooled by her. This is what girls are like. They're skilled liars who can weave the world to make it seem like they're the heroine. No matter how happy-go-lucky and innocent they look, you can never know what lurks behind the mask. I'm dating this girl for Yumi's sake. There's nothing more to it. I don't like girls, I'm fine on my own. You can tell what they're thinking. Lying comes as easy to them as breathing. I can trust this girl. I won't let her get her way. This I resolve to myself. Oh my god, you're so annoying! Okay. Great. I'm guessing that was like kind of chapter 1. Wait, what does it say when I save? Oh, there's no real chapter thingies to it. A few days have passed since I started dating Mikoto. Today is a wet day, but the rain has let up by the time classes end. Droplets of rain sparkle on the hydrangeas lining the street. Mikoto and I have walked home together every day so far. I gotta give it to Shiori though, she's trying really hard. Even so, it's still always me doing all the talking. Mikoto never initiates the conversation. I'm not especially good at making small talk myself, but I do my best to come up with topics that might resonate with her. I try to bring up things from school or the neighborhood or anything else I can think of.
それならあはいはいなんでしょうなんでもない
Bruh.
言ってください聞きたいですなんでもないってば
She averts her eyes from me awkwardly. Occasionally, she seems like she's about to say something, but each time she quickly clams up again as though she regrets it. I'm happy just getting this minor acknowledgement from her, which probably isn't a good thing. But at some point, I've become so fixated on trying to find something to talk about that she will enjoy.
調子狂うな
I have no real basis for it, but somehow I feel like I'm making a tiny bit of progress. At least I feel like I'm in a slightly better position than when we first got together. Although it would be even better if she just talked to me normally. But Mikoto still treats me coldly, like she's keeping me an arm's length. No further than that, she feels incredibly far away. Blah. No, further than that, she feels incredibly far away. Jesus Christ. Although I never receive a response, I write to her every day. I tell her about what happened that day, give her tidbits about myself, and ask how she's doing. It's all stuff I could say to her in person, but when we're actually together, it's hard to get the words out.
みこと先輩の好きな教科は何ですか
Oh, I check my timetable.
15時頃授業が終わります先輩も都合が悪い時はおっしゃってくださいね
I'm kind of hoping that communicating with her in writing might elicit a response, but I won't hold my breath. I wonder if she's not just throwing all of the letters away. I was so excited when she confessed to me. I thought that she would... What? I thought that she would be my girlfriend, but she doesn't even feel like a friend. Honestly, I don't really know what I'm doing. Hello?
私のことが好きだから告白してくれたんじゃ
Mikoto Kurahashi, a beautiful older girl who has never dated anyone. She's cool and aloof to the point of being cold, even to me, her supposed girlfriend. Why on earth did she want to date me in the first place? What does she want from me? That's a good question. What am I supposed to do?
わかんない
The more I think about it, the more the answer seems to elude me. All I can do is sigh. I slipped the letter into Mikoto's shoe locker. Since her shoes are inside, she must already have arrived at school. My letter isn't the only one in there either.
人気の先輩
I'm sure there are tons of students here who have a crush on her, but despite the fact that I'm ostensibly her girlfriend, I'm not one of them. I feel a tiny shred of guilt towards those other girls. And wouldn't Mikoto be happier dating someone who's actually into her too? Yet she hasn't hinted at wanting to break up. This is a bizarre relationship, unlike what I imagined. Can we really even call this dating? I don't know what you mean. It's a perfectly healthy relationship you guys are having.
ねえね
Hmm? When I arrive at the classroom and take my seat, Mao comes rushing over.
えどうしたの
She regards me with a serious, even slightly angry expression.
しおりがみこと先輩と付き合ってるって話聞いたんだけど
Yeah, I am. It'd be screwed up if someone started switching her letters out for more threatening letters. Oh my god! That would be... I don't think someone is doing that though.
本当なのそれは
I haven't told anyone that we're dating. In fact, I'm not even clear on if we really are dating.
誰から聞いたのそういうってことはほえ
Yeah, Shiori, you don't seem like a person who's very good at lying. Mao's intensity is overwhelming. I've never seen her like this before. It's not like we aren't dating though, so what am I supposed to say?
多分
Tabu?
多分って何
The words I finally settle on send a wave of chatter through the classroom.
多分そう
Whatever's going on between us, I can't really call her my girlfriend. Sure, she confessed to me and asked me out, and I accepted that much is true. I suppose you could say we're officially dating.
みこと先輩がそう言ってたのうんみこと先輩が素
Okay, just because she's walking home with someone, that automatically means she's dating that person? Okay.
しかもその相手がしおりらしいって聞いてびっくりしちゃった。
Not very good at lying, but suspect of lying left and right but one per right? It makes sense. Mikoto is super popular. While we haven't broadcast our relationship, we haven't gone out of our way to hide it either. Still, it doesn't seem like the person who saw us walking home together noticed much else. Like the fact that we didn't act like a couple at all. Or the fact that I was the only one talking while Mikoto barely responded at all. Or the fact that we never laughed or smiled at one another.
もうなんで言ってくれないの？
Because it's a weird situation.
ごめんね。まだなんか。ああ、お試し期間的な？
A trial period?
付き合い始めて。
Are you gonna get a 30-day trial on dating you? No, I'm sorry. Ma was right about that. We've only just gotten together. It is a trial period. We aren't yet at the stage where we want to go public.
ちなみにどっちから告白したの？
Funny story. Ma was asking me all kinds of questions. Now the whole class is watching me, waiting with bated breath for my answer. Oh boy. I'm so embarrassed I wish the ground would swallow me up. I've never had this much attention focused on me before. I'm just an ordinary student in a sea of others. I've never been the subject of any gossip. But of course, that only makes it all the more intriguing that I'm suddenly dating one of the most popular girls in school. Yes. Yes.
なおちゃん、お願い。もうやめて。もともと知り合いだったの？違うよね。しおり、この間までみこと先輩のこと。
I know nothing about her. It's not fun.
あ、だから聞いたんだ。ってことは、みこと先輩の一目惚れってこと？あの誰とも付き合わなかったみこと先輩が一目惚れ？
This is messed up.
なおちゃん、やめてってば。
Ma's loud shrieks about love set the whole class of babbling
い
again.
やいや、すごいよしおり。本当に一目惚れ？本当は知り合いだったとかないの？もう。
You know, for 1 second, I really thought that it might have been one of those they knew each other when they were children, and one of them forgot about it and they forgot about a promise they made or something. But then the blackmail reveal came immediately, so.
やだやだ、気になる。もっと聞かせて。今度話すから。こんなにして。
All during class, the stares of those around me feel like needles on my skin. Because of my loose lips, everyone is now convinced that Mikoto fell head over heels in love with me at first sight. No, wait, it was Mao who was the source of that particular rumor.
倉橋さんと付き合ってるのってどの子？へえ。
Even girls from the years above are coming together to look at me. It's also embarrassing. I know they're wondering why on earth Mikoto would fall for someone like me. I want to know the answer to that more than anyone. Besides, I don't even know if she has fallen for me. Even so, I'm quickly becoming famous throughout the school as Mikoto Kurahashi's girlfriend. I can't believe this is happening to me. I've always led such a dull life, uninvolved in the school's dating scene. Now I feel constantly anxious and on edge. I'm finally realizing just how popular Mikoto really is. She really is on another level. Didn't know what to think at the start, to be honest. Just figured Mikoto had some sort of ulterior motive. Yeah! But I heard good things about the game. Like, everyone who played it, all of the reviews were really positive, and how it's a really nice love story. So I'm like, when's the actual love of the story starting then? But of course she is. I think of Mikoto. With her tall, slender frame and long, lustrous hair, she's blessed with an eye-catching beauty. I've noticed her around the academy before. When she passes by, her movements graceful and elegant. Elegant? Yeah. A sweet scent follows her, turning hats wherever she goes. She's the kind of girl that everyone aspires to be or be with, and she's dating little old me. But I find it hard to believe it's because she fell head over heels for me at first sight. There's no way someone who looks like her would fall for someone who looks like me. There are plenty of prettier girls at the academy. But why else would she confess to me? Was there another reason? What? I jumped, startled to hear Mikoto's voice. Am I hearing things? I mean, I'm in my own classroom. My heart thuds loudly from the shock. The way she appeared before me right when I was thinking about her was spooky. Love at first sight wouldn't stay quiet and pretty much ignore her. Mikoto is here in my classroom. She's come to see me. I'm supremely embarrassed, but at the same time delighted. Everyone is staring at us in disbelief. Noticing their stares, Mikoto frowns in annoyance. Mikoto produces a sheaf of at least a dozen letters. Mine is among them. Are they all love letters? Or maybe she just has a lot of friends. It must be a pain receiving so many. I take a letter from the bundle and look at the name of the sender on the reverse. Shiori Minato. Oh! But that's not mine. The envelope isn't the same type as I use, and the handwriting isn't mine either. Shiori Minato. Shiori Minato. Shiori Minato. Shiori. Reporting from your room, I can confirm that the pizza has been eaten in full. Back to you, Noah. Oh, thank you so much, Clarius. Thank you. We appreciate it. I hope the pizza was good. I still want one as well. And now the weather. The weather. See, it's a bullying campaign against Shiori, actually. No. Her general assessment of, oh, girls are like this is so fucking annoying to me, I swear to God. If I met her in real life and she kept saying these things, I think I would get in a fight with her. Like, straight up. You know, every time I hear someone say now the weather, I have to think of oh my god, I just forgot the name, holy shit. Fuck! Hold on. Welcome to Night Vale. Jesus Christ, the podcast Welcome to Night Vale. Because in that one, they would always have every single episode. And in Welcome to Night Vale, it's about a radio host who tells about stuff that happens in the fictional town of Night Vale. And every single episode, he would also go, and now, the weather. And then the weather would be a song, either listeners had sent in something along those lines. So it would always be very different kinds of music. It's very nice. I'm not up to date with all of the episodes of Welcome to Night Vale. It's been going on for a great many years, but I really like it. For today's weather forecast, we're expecting heavy tearfall from the ice with a sight of strong nasal winds into nearby tissues. Next step would be humans are like this. She seems genuinely angry. I never imagined she might be facing such harassment.
私とあなたの不幸が幸せなのかしら。
You know, if you actually, talk to me about what's really happening, I would be willing to help you, right?
そんな。
Of course, if someone were truly in love with Mikoto, they'd probably be upset that she suddenly started dating some nobody out of the blue. But in doing this, the person they're hurting is Mikoto herself.
何なのかしら。私は会ったこともない人にゲーム感覚で告白されて、それを断っただけで嫌がらせされて、恨み
I mean, I get it. That is not fair. That is definitely not fair.
私がそれほど悪いことをしたのかしらね。ミコト先輩。
She lets out a self-depreciating laugh, anger barely suppressed behind it.
なんでこんなことに。
Her voice softened into a pained whisper.
ミコト先輩、大丈夫ですか？ミコト先輩は悪く
You couldn't break up with
ない
me.
です。
Faced with her pain, that's all I can think of to say.
気にすることはないです。嫌がらせで私の名前で手紙を送ったって、先輩がその子のことを見るわけじゃないです。手紙を送った人だって、それは分かってると思います。
Do they? I almost going to say that she did nothing wrong in confessing to me, but I stopped myself. That would be too cringy.
それに、多分私にも嫌がらせです。例えば、私の名前で嫌なこと言ったりしたら、
They don't have to turn Mikoto against Shiori though, because Mikoto doesn't like Shiori in the first place because he thinks he's the one blackmailing her.
それに、私の手紙がどれか分かればいいんですよね。
I look through the stack of letters to find the one for me. It's immediately apparent from my handwriting in the style of envelope.
私の手紙、これです。
Smiling, I handed to her.
私の手紙がどれか分かれば嫌がらせにならないですよね。やっぱりね。やっぱりそれだろうなって思ったの。いや、似てる字もあったし、わからないんだけど。
Her gaze is slightly melancholy as it passes over my letter. Somehow it makes me extremely happy to think that she was able to identify my letter from the others.
変な子。すみません。見当違いのこと言ってたでしょうか。すみません。あなたが何も知らずに。あなたの言う通りだと思う。私怒りでいっぱいになってた。こんなの気にすることないのよね。あなたはそんな風に考えるんだなって思った。
Wait, that actually sounds nice for once. What's going on?
役に立てましたでしょうか。ちょっと落ち着いたわ。ありがとう。
Hey. She thanked me! Mikoto thanked me! And she smiled too. I'm so happy that I was able to help her out, even with something so small. And so happy to see her smile at me.
これからは手紙に私のだってわかるもの入れます。合言葉じゃないですけど、なるべく誰にも真似できないものというか、それならミコト先輩、私の本物の手紙が
I mean, as long as you don't have any Veronica Sawyer showing up who can imitate others' handwriting perfectly, you should be fine. This is not Heather's.
わかった。
You're good.
はい。いろいろ考えてみますね。
Out in the courtyard during lunch break, I think of Mikoto as I work on a lace-making project. She's being harassed even though she's done absolutely nothing wrong. But if it's someone who's been in love with her for a long time, maybe they would have been okay with it if she started dating someone already close to her. Well, it's not... There's really no excuse for what these people are doing, no matter what. Perhaps they're upset because it's me, someone who has no prior connection to her. Thinking of it that way, maybe I'm the one in the wrong... No? What kind of loops are you going through with your logic? Mikoto is being harassed because I accepted her confession. Wait, but that doesn't make sense, does it? She was the one who confessed to me. So how can I be the one in the wrong? I thought dating someone and falling in love and all that stuff was supposed to be romantic. This isn't how I imagine any of it. In fact, dating Mikoto has led to nothing but stress so far.
浮かない顔してるじゃない。
Oh, who's this?
あ、
Hello! Achievement unlocked, my sweet Shiori. Who are you? As per usual, before I can even draw a breath to return the greeting, Aoi is leaning towards me.
葵先輩。
Hello, why are you so close?
元気ないわね。可愛い顔が台無しだわ。
Aoi Tachiban is a third-year student at Kikyu Women's Academy. She's president of the student council. Of course she is! Of course she is! And very good looking. She was on a student council back when I was in middle school too, so she's always been a familiar face around campus. She's probably even more popular than Mikoto. And you know her. And yet, Shiori, you're all like,
Oh, I'm a little nobody. No one knows me. I'm just a mouse.
you know the student council president. Like, on a personal level, it seems.
今日もすごく可愛いわね。
Kind of a school story without the president of the student council? Abso-fucking-lutely.
いえ、私は特には謙遜することないのに。しおりは毎日すごく可愛いわ。
Scary people at the top! As within Mikoto complimented me, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm grateful, but at the same time, I don't know how to respond to being called pretty by someone genuinely gorgeous.
葵先輩も今日もすごくお綺麗です。ありがとう。
The fact that she can accept my compliment so easily is proof of how often she's heard it.
また編み物してたの？素敵ね。はい。女の子らしい趣味。しおりは本当に可愛いわ。
Why do you... I have a feeling that we might hear an ada out of this Aoi. Like, it's the voice, kind of voice she has.
近いな。
I first met Aoi when I started high school. So a year ago.
あなたすごく可愛いわね。
That was the first thing she said to me. Ever since then, she's made a point of talking to me whenever our paths cross. And every time she gets right up close to me. Too close. Glad to see you wearing your braids, by the way. Yes! It makes my stomach flutter, but more than that, it's incredibly awkward for me. If I try to turn my face away even slightly, she just follows, leaving me no escape.
それはそう。2年の綺麗な子と付き合ってるんですね。
Yes.
先輩までご存知なんですか？そりゃ可愛いしおりのことだもの。確か倉橋姉妹の姉の方？はい。悲しいわ。私の可愛いしおりが誰かのものになるなんて。誰かのものというわけでは。
Oh, thank you, Shiri, for actually saying that out loud. That's good.
違うの？もしかしてさっきの浮かない顔もそういうことなのかしら。いえ、そういう意味ではみこと先輩が何かとかそういうわけではなく。
I was simply brooding. It wasn't Mikoto's fault. I don't want to be responsible for rumors that things aren't going well between me and Mikoto.
はいはい。やっぱり人を悪く言われるのは気になるのね。しおりって本当にいい子
Oh
なんだ
man.
から。だからこそ一人で抱えてしまうんでしょうね。いえ、私も詳しくはないけれど、恋というのは
They
好
are.
きなものよ。そういうものなのでしょうか。恋に限らずよね。人と関われば問題は起き、悩み
We're gonna have a rumor going around the school that I'm probably that Shiori is two timing, because someone's going to see Aoi hang around us like this,
恋となる
and then be like,
Oh, you're not even faithful to Mikoto. How dare you?
今まで考えたことなかったです。
I can see it. I can already see it happen.
そういう子よね。でも少しくらい人に頼ることも覚えた方がいいわ。とにかく無理しないこと。あなたのそんな顔、私だって見たくないし。そんな顔させる相手が
Okay. Her voice is barely above a whisper. Her lips hover close to my cheek.
葵先輩、何してるんですか？
Hello.
邪魔が入っちゃった。
Startled by Mao's ear-splitting yell, Aoi sighs and pulls back from me.
もうやめてください。
She already batting where she gets pushed in front of the train by Mikoto Omayo, who thinks that. Yeah, if this was a game with like roots and different endings, I feel like there would be a bunch of bad endings like that to get. If she keeps yelling, it's going to lead to yet more embarrassing rumors. If it gets out that I'm friends with Aoi, I'll paint an even bigger target on my back.
別に恋人がいようがいまいが、私のしおりに対する気持ちは変わらないし。
Damn.
そうやっていろんな子に声かけてるの知ってるんですからね。
Haha.
可愛い子は平等に扱っているだけよ。それにしおりが望んでくれるならいつだってしおり一筋になるし。そうやって適当なこと言って、まったく口うるさい子ね。しおり、友達は選んだ方がいいわよ。真帆ちゃんは
With a question mark?
はいはい。しおりってみんなに優しいんだ。
She's my best friend? Mm?
じゃあね、私の可愛い。
It's a kinetic novel. The force on a train hitting here would be kinetic. Oh my god.
はいごきげんよう。
They do say Goki, you know. I was, you know, when in the beginning, when it was like, oh, it's a girls' academy for making sure these girls grow up into proper young ladies. I was like, do they say Gokigenyo? They do.
来ないでください。今度は邪魔が入らない場所で。
Of course they do.
くぬ
With a flutter of her hand, Aoi walks off.
ー。もう葵先輩ってば。真帆ちゃん。しおりも葵先輩にからかわれてるんだから逃げなきゃダメよ。からかわれてるのかな。
From what Mao said, it sounds like she flirts with every girl who takes her fancy. But when she's with me, she acts like I'm the only one. Oops. Oops. Does she notice? Does she say the same to all the other girls? I have no way of knowing.
しおりまで葵先輩の毒牙にかかって。葵先輩みんなに声
Oh
か
wow.
けてるのね。そうやってその気にさせて本気になった子をガブーよ。
Jesus.
ガブー。
Kaboo?
それは真帆ちゃんから聞いてるし分かってるけど。
If Aoi was the one to confess to me, it would have made sense. Whatever Mao might say about her, I feel like Aoi genuinely likes me. She sees me. Just today, she noticed I looked down. If I received a confession from someone like that, who I knew, and who was friendly to me, it would probably have been easier for me to accept.
しおりってそういう子よね。でも少しくらい。
Yeah, you could tell Mao about this.
とにかく無理しないこと。
If she's your best friend. I think back on what she said to me. I still haven't told Mao the full story.
あのね、真帆ちゃん。みこと先輩のこと、真帆ちゃんに言えなくて。ああ、いいよいいよ。こっちこそ、なんかごめんね。私、告白されて付き合うことになったけど。
Well, you're going out, but you're both thinking that the other person is doing it for a reason that they're not actually doing it for. So that's fun. I can tell about the cold way Mikoto is treating me.
しおりは告白された方だもんね。
Mm-hmm.
どうして私なんかにって。それは謙遜でしょ。しおりすっごく可愛いし。
She is pretty though.
親友の私が保証する。自信持ちなよ。ありがとう。だから何かあったら相談させてね。うん。いつでも楽しみにしてるから。それより 問題は葵先輩よね。葵先輩これから絶対嫉妬していろいろちょっかいかけてくるけど絶対相手にしちゃダメだよ。
Why do you like Aoi senpai or
これから
what?
心に決めた人がいますから。
I'm just thinking because this episode is about Shiori and
って言うなら止めないけど
why can I not remember her name? Mikoto.
今のところ
I wonder what the other episodes are going to be about then. Like who the other pairings are. If they're only between the characters that we've seen in the opening, or if they are introducing even more characters. Aoi's a nice person and I appreciate her affections, but not in that way, I don't think. Why did Mikoto confess to me? I feel like our relationship is moving forward a little, but these feelings are in love and it still doesn't really feel like we're dating. Rumors are spreading we're on people's radar now, and knowing that Mikoto is being harassed makes me feel boxed in on all sides. What I think is going to be like between us from here on. I mean, it can't really be worse.
みこと先輩お手紙大丈夫でしたか？
Like you're starting off really badly, so it can only get better.
しばらく続くでしょうね。手紙禁止とも書けないでしょうし。
Hmm.
何悲しそうな顔してるのよ。でも
Because it
悲
sucks.
しいです。
Say it like it is, Shiori.
何と言いますか。悲しんでいるというよりも怒ってるんだけどね。悪意とも違うのかな。
They definitely are.
こういう嫌がらせってあるのかなとか。すみません。うまく言えないのですが。
I don't really have it figured out myself. I've never been in such a situation before and I have no idea what to say to Mikoto.
自分の名前が語られて自分の立ち位置が怪しくなっちゃうから。怪しくなっちゃうんですか？
A dating sim with only average and maybe really bad looking people.
冗談よ。あなたって本当嫌味とか全く通じないのね。
She smiled. She smiled at me. I desperately try not to let on how overjoyed I am. I'm so happy I feel like my feet might lift above the ground.
それは鈍感ということでしょうか？あら、それはわかるんだ。すみません。でも確かに人の悪意とかそういうものには鈍感かもしれません。友達に嫌味を言われても私全く気がつかなくて、そうすると代わりに違う友達が怒ってくれたりして、そうなってからようやく慌てたりとか、私は全く気にしてなかったのにと思って。気づかないなんてそんなことあるの？
I mean, Mikoto, she's still hanging out with you.
苛立ったり反論したりしないの？あなただって怒ったりするでしょ。
And you are also acting very mean all of the time?
おとなしそうに見えるけど、あなただってそういう感情あるでしょ？どうなんでしょう？
Not really.
その通りだ。
Oh, oops.
言葉をそのまま受け取ることが多い気がします。そんなに怒ったりとかすることなくて、私が悪いの
Huh. You always start searching for ways to fix it,
とか。
thinking now it was your fault.
私が言ったことも、私が言ったことに怒ったり苛立ったりしないの？しないですよ。私が悪いのかな？どうしたらいいの？
You shouldn't try to search for, you know, look at it in a way that it's like, oh, it's always my fault. Of course I worry about how things are between me and Mikoto. I wonder what I can do to make her smile, but I've never felt anger toward her.
みこと先輩、もしかして私を怒らせようとしてました？あ、いや、そうじゃないけど。そうなんだ。
She averts her eyes, falling silent. She seems to be thinking about something and to have nothing more to say to me. Mikoto doesn't talk to me in the train either. I worry that I said something to offend her.
では、 礼しますね。
The door opens and I step out onto the platform. I spin around.
はい。ごめん。ごめん。傷つけてごめん。あなたはしおりが悪いんじゃない
Fuck
か。
yeah! She noticed! Woo! The door slide closed. The train pulls out of the station. Mikoto is gone. I watch the train until it's out of sight, regretting that I missed my chance to ask what she meant by those words. But she called me by my name, and she apologized to me.
こと
My face burns. I want to get closer to her. I want to know how she feels.
みこと先輩。
Although the day hasn't even ended yet, I wish it could be tomorrow already. I can't wait to see Mikoto again. Wow!
つゆちりレター。
But at least Mikoto is actually realizing that it's probably not Shiori who's blackmailing her. How's it going? Hi! It's going well. We're experiencing a very interesting visual novel tonight. How are you doing? It's been a few days since we started dating, although I still don't know whether you can really call it that. Whatever the case, I now walk home with Shiori every day. Do we just see everything out of... like, we just repeat it from her perspective every time?
今日は体育の授業でバレエをやったんですけど。
You're doing alright, just chilling.
サーブが
That's
上手なので
good. Chilling is good.
みこと先輩はスポーツって得意ですか？
Even as I continue to ignore her, Shiori valiantly chatters on about her day. She tells me about her friends, her teachers, her lessons. I even start to feel bad for ignoring her.
まあ普通には。そうなんですね。すごいです。
She seems delighted by even the slightest response from me.
運動とかやられてたんですか？やってないわよ。でも体育の授業って小頭部からずっとあるじゃない。
I hate him.
そうですよね。週に何回かは運動している。
Several times a week? Wow, we had gym class once a week. Only. She really does seem like a sweet, innocent girl. She could almost fool me into thinking she isn't a blackmailer because she isn't. Despite the fact that I know that behind the facade she's the culprit.
それでは失礼します。また明日。またお手紙送りますね。
The doors close and Shiori waves politely to me. As the train pulls out of the station, she keeps waving until I can no longer see her. A complex mix of emotions tugs at me as I watch her.
なんだかな。
I expected her to have gotten annoyed at me by now and asked why I won't engage with her, but she really seems averse to conflict. In fact, I'm starting to feel guilty myself, as though I'm bullying her somehow. Maybe it wouldn't hurt to talk with her just a little.
でも、もしもしおりが脅迫状を送った犯人。
Then that will just mean playing right into her hands. I want to trust her, but I know I can't. Besides, it's not like she hasn't raised any red flags. Her dogged determination to engage me in conversation and the fact that she hasn't commented on how coldly I treat her, it's impossible to believe that she didn't know who I was before. She doesn't display a hint of anger toward me, and that raises my suspicions. Shiori, what is she truly thinking? She's just happy you hang out with her.
あら、また来た。
Although I stopped coming by as often since I started dating Shiori, I still drop by the infirmary whenever I'm nearby. Just because I've done as the blackmail letter instructed doesn't necessarily mean Yumi's free from danger.
いいでしょ。実の姉が時々妹を心配して寄ったって。そうね。私が生まれた時。嫌味の塊。
Oops. I didn't mean to skip that text, sorry.
あら、ごめんなさい。
ごめんなさい。
昔からこういう性格な
Listen,
の。
listen. I need an ara from her. She's already saying a singular ara. She's gonna hit us with one at some point. I'm equally sarcastic as her. Still, I know Yumi better than anyone, and accordingly I know that she's actually an extremely kind-hearted girl.
私が言いたいのはね、別に理由や用事があるのなら寄ってもらうことだって構わないのよ。でもミコトの場合そうじゃないでしょ。
Hehe. I worry about you.
ユミ
Oh,
が心
it's
配だから
it's voiced. I'm
何
stupid.
もないならいいの。またそれ？なに？
Yes, in fact, I do.
私が狙われているとでも言うの？私を狙うことに何か意味なんてあるのかしら？
Stop saying that. You're going to die in a few
ユミ
years.
が死にそうなのに。
It's not
ユ
cute.
ミ。はいはい。失礼しました。お願いだからそういうこと言わないでっていつも言ってるじゃない。
Ever since we were little, I've been told that my sick little sister could die at any moment. Even if it's true, hearing it still upsets me. I don't want Yumi to die. I want her here with me, always. If her living as long is a miracle, then I don't want it to end. As her family, it's the only possible way for me to feel.
とにかく私のこと
Fair.
なんて心配しなくていいから。
If any of you guys ever want to read a visual novel that deals, wow, that sounds depressing, that deals a bunch with like terminal illness and it's going to make you cry, because it made me cry. Where is it? I want to tell you about one, but I once again forgot about the name, as I always do whenever I try to recommend something. Hold up. Where are they? You guys should read Narcissu. Yeah, thank you. Those the stories of Narcissu made me cry a lot. They were really good. I like them a lot. But yeah, it deals a bunch with terminal illness, so if that's not really your thing, be careful. Be careful with that. It's great.
ねえ、そんなことより面白いことになってるんですって？
At least you don't forget the names of the games you're currently playing. I would never.
面白いことって何よ？
Mm-hmm.
私は何も隠さなくていいじゃない。聞いたわよ。お付き合いしている人がいるんでしょ？え？どこで聞いたの？
I haven't told anyone about Shiori, and I don't think she's been telling people either.
目撃情報があるらしいわよ。
Who has the advantage of being able to look at the stream title? It was probably inevitable that it would get out eventually. It's not like we were hiding the fact that we were walking home together.
水臭いわね。妹にくらい話してくれたらいいのに。それってどれくらい有名になってるの？そうね。お友達のほとんどいない。
Ooh.
私の耳に入るくらい？めっちゃ広がってるじゃん。あらあら。お言葉が乱れていてよ。
There it is. There it was. We just got hit by an Ana Ana.
あらあら。しかも一目惚れで。
Ana Ana?
みことから告白したとか？一目惚れじゃないし。あら。でもあなたの方から告白したんでしょ？それは事実。
It's true, but also it's not.
けど。
Up until now, Shiori and I had zero interaction. Since I was the one who confessed to her, it must look like I fell for her at first sight. But it did. I didn't. It wasn't like that at all, but I can't tell Yumi that. Besides, something about this sudden outbreak of rumors bothers me.
なんかすっごく嫌。
If I had a fragile constitution, that Ara Ara would have been the end of me.
モテモテの人気の先輩とやらは大変ね。そんな
I
つもり
think it's
ないんだ
funny.
けど。
It's like, it's just 2 words.
だいたい
But you can really tell a lot about how a character is written if they just hit you with an Ara Ara out of nowhere.
まあそれはそうね。ちょっと肯定される
I
の
mean, you're saying it about yourself. She's your sister. Why wouldn't she agree with you?
あら。
あら。
わかるのね。
I thought it would all be all over since Bleh. I thought it would all be over once I confessed to Shiori as I instructed. But I now have the feeling that my troubles are only just beginning. All we can redeem is Uwen sets. Appreciate every ada a game gives us. I don't think I'd be up to the task of giving a good ada redeem. That's why we don't have it. I'm sorry.
余裕のないみこと。普段見れないから、なんだか新鮮だわ。
It's not really my style. I don't think it would.
茶化さないで。
No, it doesn't really
いいじゃない。
fit my style.
みことはもっと自分のことに集中するべきよ。幼い頃からいつだって私のことばっかりなんだから。それにしたって。
Catch redeem is where it's at. Exactly.
Pikachu. Pika. Pikachu.
See, that I can do. First I was blackmailed, and now I'm going to be churned up by the rumor mill. And thank you for the posture check. Let's see. Oh, what the? And thank you for the pet. Ooh, whoa. What's happening? Why is the game going? I'm not clicking anything. And thank you for the highlight time. What just happened? Why did it? We're going. No. I want to go back here. There we go. What do you mean skip? I want to go back there. It was my intention to get through high school drama free.
とにかく不審物とかがあったらすぐ誰か呼んでね。隠し事はなし。何かあったら話してね。はいはい。何度も言うんだから。
And she's going to say it 1,000 times more.
なんだかよくわからないけど、とにかく怪我だけしないようにするわ。うん、気をつけて。みことも恋の話とか聞かせてちょうだいね。そんなことは絶対ないから期待しないで。
You just don't know it yet.
あら、残念。
残念。あら。
At any rate, Yumi doesn't seem to be in any immediate danger. Perhaps going along with the blackmail letter's demand is enough. For the time being, I've achieved my goal of keeping Yumi safe. I'm simply walking home with Shiori. I'm not going out of my way to be at all nice to her. While it doesn't really feel like we're dating, we're officially a couple, and the blackmailer didn't request more than I confessed to and date her. Of course, it all feels incredibly weird, and now the word is out that Shiori and I are dating. On top of that, people are convinced that I fell in love with her at first sight. No doubt the halls of the school are abuzz with the news that the unattainable Mikoto Kudahashi has fallen head over heels for a first-year girl. That really grinds my gears. Plus, I still have this ominous feeling in the pit of my stomach. Oh no, it definitely is something. With that feeling of trepidation still gnawing at my insides, I step into the entry hall. Since I arrived at school a little earlier than usual today, there wasn't yet a letter from Shiori when I opened my shoe locker. Hopefully this feeling of mine is simply down to paranoia. By now, Shiori will probably have posted my letter. This has to be some kind of world record. It's 5 letters. My shoe locker is stuffed with letters. 5 letters is stuffed? Or did they just not want to draw more? Is it all hate mail or more blackmail letters? Gingerly I turn over one of the envelopes to look for the sender. Shiori Minato. Although it's a name, it isn't in her handwriting. Shiori Minato, Shiori Minato, Shiori Minato. This isn't hate mail. Sending letters pretending to be Shiori is a new low. This has gone beyond petty harassment. This is malicious. This is why I hate... Oh my god. I thought we would finally have a scene where you're not saying that.
This is why I hate girls.
Back in the classroom, I opened the letters. They're written in a feminine hand, similar to Shiori's, but not the same. What purpose do these letters serve? They're all filled with random information about the scent.
Okay, cursed Ubu it is. I'll be waiting for you in the corridor at 3 p.m. You might not expect it, but I actually really love ramen. Yeah, sure, whatever. Knowing that they're all fakes, every word I read only annoys me further. I linger over one particular letter in the stack. I'm pretty sure that this one is from the real Shiori. She talks about a few things, asks about me, and tells me what time she's finishing today. She also says that she'll be waiting for me in the entry hall. I'm surprised to find that part of me is relieved to see a real letter from her. Even though it's a letter from a girl who might be a blackmailer, a girl I can trust. Hehehe. You don't hehehe at me. Oh, yay. Another pretty looking girl. My classmate, Nagisa Fushimi, smirks as she comes over to me. She is hating herself. She really is. So stupid. So she says, but I can't take her at face value. They do seem to deal primarily with serious topics such as environmental and political issues, but you never know. You never know. In manga and other fiction, the school paper is usually responsible for exposing people's secrets and printing gossip. Good thing this is a visual novel and not a manga. I'm not sure whether I can trust that she isn't sniffing around for that kind of news too. But I've known Nagisa a long time and she's someone I can be my honest self with. I feel like Nagisa and Aoi could end up dating, but on the other hand, they feel too similar. Design-wise. I don't know who designed the people in this game, but whoever it was, they were like, oh yeah, I'm going to make like half the cast have green hair or these green yellow eyes. Or both at the same time. I'm complicated. I'm not the type. I'm not interested in relationships. Yet, because of the blackmail letter, here I am in one. I can't exactly explain that to Nagisa, though. Mm-hmm. Oh, you actually care about me. That's sweet. Of course, Nagisa's sharp when it comes to these things. Theoretically, what would you do if both Ubers get redeemed at the same time? Cry? I mean, last time I think when I got both the Uber for 2 minutes and the Uber for 1 minute, the cursed one, I just did them one after the other. I mean, I can't really make the cursed Uber even more cursed. Blessed Uber redeem, let's go. I pass a few of the fake letters. Her sharp eyes pick up on a different handwriting right away. We're dating, but I always hate the saying of, oh, you belonging to someone. I don't like that either. And of course that isn't why I'm dating her in the first place. I don't think Shiori feels that way about me either. That doesn't make sense. You forgot we had a situation. Yeah, we did. That would be so awkward though. Imagine you post a letter and it's like, hey, come meet me there, and she would actually go there expecting to see Shiri, and then there's someone else there. Like, how would you even explain that? How would you try to explain that situation?
もういいわ。全部理解できないから。そうだね。そんなことしたってミコトの気持ちはしおりちゃんにあるのにね。
I can't tell Nagisa that I'm dating her due to blackmail, or that Shiori is the one blackmailing me, or that I don't feel anything for Shiori, or that when I think about how the blackmailer will hurt Yumi if I don't do as they say, I feel nothing but contempt for them. I won't let them get away with this.
まあそのうち収まると思うけど、それまで大変そうだね。
Sure.
ちょっと行ってくる。へえ、行動的。行ってらっしゃい。
The sort of harassment is a pain in the butt, but there's a silver lining. Now that I'm getting these letters, I have an excuse to tell Shiori to stop sending hers too. It's annoying having her write cheerfully to me every day when I don't feel anything for her. If I can tell her she no longer needs to send me letters, I'll be set free from them. It'll be better for both of us. Well, that didn't work out the way you wanted it to, did it? I had to walk the first year's classrooms where I had lessons last year. Feeling people staring at me, I peek into Chrysanthemum's classroom. There she is. Since it would be more trouble to find someone else to go get her for me, I go into the classroom myself.
ちょっと。ミコト先輩。
Shiori gapes at me in surprise, her face turning as red as a tomato. She always overreacts like this. Is she doing it on purpose? Of course she is. Of course, everything she does is on purpose, all the time.
ごめんなさい。どうかなさったんですか?
The other girls in the classroom are looking at us with the realization that the rumors they've been hearing are all true. It's really bugging me. We aren't going to be able to talk here with everyone watching.
ちょっと話があって、一緒に来てくれる? はい。
I lead Shiori to an empty section of the corridor. I pass her the stack of letters and she stares at them in bewilderment.
すごいですね。お手紙いっぱいです。いいから、手紙の後ろ。はい。あれ?
Seeing her name on the back of each of them, she freezes.
私、こんなにお手紙書いてないです。わかってるわよ。でも、私の名前いっぱい。嫌がらせでしょ? 嫌がらせだから、あなたが私と付き合ったって噂が流れてるから、私が今まで告白されても誰とも付き合わなかった。
It's nice that we get to see both of their inner voices, but it does feel a little annoying having to read it technically twice. Now that I started speaking, I find I can stop.
女の子ってさ、平気でそういう嫌がらせをするのよ。気に食わないんだわ。どうして自分はダメだったのにあの子とって不公平だって思ってるの。ずるいって思ってるのよ。
Talk about déjà vu, exactly. As I explain the situation to Shiori, anger wells up inside me. Why do I have to go through this? I haven't even done anything.
何なのかしら。私は会ったこともない人にゲーム感覚で告白されて、それを断っただけで嫌がらせされて恨みまで買わなきゃいけないの?
I didn't mean to hurt any of the people who confessed their feelings to me. For each one, I responded with a polite, albeit short letter turning them down. I didn't intend to upset them.
私がそれほど悪いことをしたのかしらね。
I haven't done anything deserving of this. Sometimes I thought that dating someone would release me from all this drama, but now it's obvious that isn't the case. What was I supposed to do when confessed to by people I've never even met? Yet here I am, blackmailed into doing the exact same thing. I was forced into confessing to someone I didn't know under threat of harm to Yumi, and now there are rumors about me and I'm being harassed. I feel like there are enemies all around me. I hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate it. I hate girls. I'm fed up of this stupid school where we're forced to communicate via letters. I want to leave it all behind. Honestly though, the fact that they are not allowed to have cell phones is really fucked up. I don't like that either. What have I done wrong? Anger and frustration surge within me. Shiori peers worriedly into my face. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't have to feel like this.
嫌がらせで私の名前で手紙を送ったって、先輩がその子のこと見るわけじゃないですし、手紙を送った人だってそれは分かってると思う。
I have to say this now because otherwise it's going to bother me, by the way. The art style is really nice. There's just one problem. Whoever drew the faces did not like think about where, like rethink where they place the eye that is closer to the viewer. They're too far apart. If you were to flip these sprites, it would be even more obvious, I feel. Like with Shiori's, it looks fine at first glance, but even her right eye is a little too far out. And Mikoto's is too far back because she doesn't have any hair in front of her ears. You can unsee it now? Yeah, it's been bothering me the entire time. It's been bothering me the entire time because it's something that I know. I know I have a problem of doing sometimes when I draw as well. And like the overall feel is very good. But the eyes are too far apart. I ruined the game for you, no. Sorry. Her voice permeates through the stormy waters of my heart.
それに私の手紙がどれか分かればいいんです。
Like they look fine when they're facing the front. Well, okay, no, the Mikoto's left side is a little too far. Wait, Mikoto's right side, but our left is also a little too far. If you were to flip that sprite, you would see it.
私の手紙これです。
It's like someone didn't bother checking again. But it's okay. She sorts through the pile of letters to find her own. Then she hands it to me with a soft smile.
私の手紙がどれか分かれば嫌がらせにならないですよね。
This girl, who's probably blackmailing me, speaks kindly to me. It feels strange, yet the anger within me is slowly subsiding.
やっぱりね。
I take the letter from her. I knew this was her letter.
それだろうなって思ったの。封筒とかなんか文字とか、いや似てる字もあったしわからないんだけど。
You look close and thought the nose also looks a bit off. You take it as the entire nose. Ah? Wait, hold on. She's right. I don't need to let myself be bothered by these harassing letters. It's the culprit's goal to upset me.
変な子。
I just adored. Yes. She really is a strange girl. Until recently, I didn't even know she existed. She looks me in the eye and speaks with no trace of anger.
すみません。見当違い。
Though I mean the just dot noses, that's just an art style thing. I've seen a lot of people just draw dots as noses.
すみません。私なんかが何も知らずに。あなたの言う通りだと思う。私怒りでいっぱいになってた。こんなの気にすることないのよね。
I was under so much stress from everything I wasn't thinking straight. I don't need to trouble myself with these fake letters. So long as I know which ones are from the real Shiori, that's enough.
お役に立てましたでしょうか。ちょっと落ち着いたわ。ありがとう。
I thank her, an unintentional smile curling my lips. After a brief moment of surprise, she happily returns the smile. Even though she might be blackmailing me, even though behind that sweet, innocent face she could be threatening my sister, I feel my conviction waver. You know what would be the biggest plot twist and would be funny? If it turns out that Shiori was in fact blackmailing her and was the person behind this all along, and she's literally this two-faced. But I don't think that's going to happen. Is this girl really the culprit? Would the culprit do and say things like this? If the dot is supposed to be more than a tip, it looks like it's an it's on it. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh my god.
これからは手紙に私のだってわかるもの。
Okay, we're not going to think too much about the art style anymore, otherwise we're going to find more stuff that is wrong.
それなら、みこと先輩、私の本物の手紙がどれかわかりますよね。
She doesn't need to send me letters anymore. The harassment will only continue. People will never accept our relationship. I intend to say all those things, but the words won't come out. We don't need to exchange letters or walk home together. We'd still be dating even without all that. And yet...
分かった。
I nod. I should keep her at arm's length. She looks sad for a moment, but she'll accept it. Yet I can't do it.
いろいろ考えてみますね。
Shuri smiles happily at me. A letter from her will arrive tomorrow, as will more fake ones, I'm sure. Yet some part of me, deep inside, is looking forward to receiving hers. You're slowly falling for her. My conviction is wavering. She really seems like your average ordinary girl. She's cheerful, kind, and straightforward. Her smile is infectious. It makes me want to talk to her. How long has it been since I last felt this way toward another girl?
みこと先輩、お手紙大丈夫でしたか？まあね。しばらく続くでしょうね。手紙禁止とも書けないでしょうし。
Her face falls. She seems to be genuinely upset on my behalf.
何悲しそうな顔してるのよ。でも悲しいです。自分の名前が語られて自分の立ち位置が怪しくなっちゃうから。怪しくなっちゃうんですか？冗談よ。
My intention was to stoke her anger, but she responds with the utmost sincerity. She really is a weird
あ
girl.
なたって本当に嫌味とか全く通じないのね。
I haven't known anyone like her before, which actually makes interacting with her kind of refreshing.
それは鈍感ということでしょうか？あら、それはわかるんだ。すみません。でも確かに人の悪意とかそういうものには鈍感かもしれません。友達に嫌味を言われても私全く気がつかなくて、そうすると代わりに違う友達が怒ってくれたりして、そうなってからようやく慌てたりとか、私は全く気にしてなかったのにと思って。気づかないなんてそんなことあるの？苛立ったり反論したりしないの？あなただって怒ったりするでしょ？
We had this conversation
そう
already.
見えるけど、あなただってそういう感情あるでしょ？どうなんでしょう？その通りだと思うので。言葉をそのまま受け取ることが多い気がします。そんなに怒ったりとかすることなくて、私が悪いのかなとか、どうしたらいいのかなとか。
Why? I was being sarcastic. I was trying to provoke a little anger in this calm girl, because I think she's blackmailing me. Because I believe that, no matter how innocent she acts, she'll eventually show her true colors.
私が言ったことも、私が言ったことに怒ったり苛立ったりしないの？
No.
しないですよ。私が悪いのかな？どうしたらいいのかなって。
I didn't mean to make her feel that way. I'm only threatening her? Yes. I'm only treating her like this because I suspect that she's a blackmailer. But if she isn't, it means I'm simply making her sad by ignoring her. It means I'm hurting her for no reason.
みこと先輩、もしかして私を怒らせようとしてましたか？あ、いや違う、そうじゃないけど。そうなんだ。
I avert my gaze from her. I've learned something new about Shiori. I've learned more about what kind of girl she is. I've learned that she's the kind of girl who always blames herself. Maybe Shiori isn't a blackmailer, and if that's the case, I'm simply making this poor girl suffer for no reason.
では、また明日。失礼しますね。
Shiori is about to alight from the train at her station. I still haven't sorted out my feelings. I don't know for sure that Shiori isn't the culprit, but I want to convey my feelings to her.
ごめん。ごめん。傷つけてごめん。あなたがしおりが悪いんじゃないから。
She looks surprised. The train door slide closed. As the train pulls away, she remains frozen on the platform in surprise.
しおりは犯人じゃない。しおりが脅迫状を送るわけ。
Certainty starts to solidify within me. Adorable in extreme, it says on her shirt. Okay. I know that women are two-faced. They hide their true feelings. They prioritize themselves or play the victim when it suits them. Although I know not all girls are like that, the ones around me are. Even when I made new friends at the academy, in a few months' time there would always be drama. At some point I stopped trusting people. I know most of my year group by name, having been together since elementary school. So I know their shortcomings too. I've learned I don't need more than a few friends. As we grew older, the letter writing system took root. The academy and everyone in it are too stuffy and formal for my tastes. Subconsciously, I decided that this is just what girls are like. But Shiori is different. She moved in her own circle with no clue as to who I was. She tries her best to communicate with me, and I'm finally starting to have a little faith. But now what? If none of this is Shiori's fault, what do I do now?
みこと、お風呂空いたわよ。
Hi!
びっくりした。あら、ごめんなさい。集中してたかしら。ちょっとね。それに姉妹だからってノックくらいして。あら、反抗期って感じ。
Do you start? Oh my god, imagine.
ちょっと嬉しいわね。
I think if we count every single ada that Yumi says, we would hit double digits or like triple digits
からかわないで。
in a very, very short time.
暮らす上での常識だから。はいはい。
No doubt she forget again tomorrow.
そうだ。ねえ、みなとしおりって子知ってる？
Yes.
同じクラスになったことない？
They're in the same class right now.
みなと？私が人のこと覚えてると思う？病弱でほとんど教室にも通えず、かわいそうな私が。思わない？ごめん。
Besides, Yumi and I are alike in our distrust of other girls. Yumi only associates with people she trusts, and they are few and far between.
なんだっけ、よく来てくれるまほちゃん？まほちゃんと仲のいい子なんだけど。ああ、それならいい子なのかもしれないわ。そんな判断。
Well, because Mao is nice, and if it's someone that Mao associates with, she must also be nice.
まほさん、友達は多いけど、意外と人の好み激しいから、思ったことはしっかり言ってくれるし、裏でこそこそ嫌み言ったりしないし、だから私も信用してるのよね。友達も多いけど、絶縁した子も多数。意外とすごい子だな。そうでしょ？
Mao seems like your average bubbly girl. I sometimes wondered why she and Yumi are friends, but now I know.
女の子って特に輪やつながりを守ろうとするじゃない？そのために嘘をついたり、友情が壊れてしまうのを過度に恐れたりね。そういうのあるよね。
Attending an all-girls school, I've seen it happen plenty of
真
times.
帆さんはそういうのないから一緒にいて楽なのよね。なるほど。
Maho remained friends with Yumi even when they were in different classes. It must have been tough for her, although I wouldn't say that in front of Yumi. Still, it sounds like she's the type to speak up if she has any issues, so Yumi's in good company.
それでその湊さんがどう
Oh yeah,
したの？
she's a friend.
ちょっとね、いい子なのかなと思って。人の良さ悪さなんて簡単にわかるものではないでしょ。友達として表面的には見えてなくても付き合いを深めていく上で見えることもある。短所は人それぞれあっても、それは分かった上で関係を続けることだってできるわ。そうだけど、なんかもっと少年の部分っていうか、それこそもっと付き合いが長くないとわからないじゃない。そっか。そうだよね。
I know it's pointless discussing this with Yumi, but with my own emotions in the turmoil, I find myself confiding in her.
みことはその子のことどう思うの？自分の直感を 思わない。いい子だと思うの。私女の子ってあんまり好きじゃないけど、あの子は。
She smiles at me even when my attitude must pain her. When I inadvertently respond, her face lights up with joy. I can't forget that smile. What would happen if I just talked to her normally?
さあ、じゃあミコトの直感は正しいと思うわよ。
She looks at me and chooses to smile. She always thinks of other people before herself. She does things her own way and genuinely cares about other people's suffering. I can't imagine all that is an act. And if Shiori isn't a blackmailer, I want to apologize. I want to talk with her and get all my doubts out in the open. I feel like she's different to all the other girls I've met.
でも、どうしてそんなことを聞くの？もしかして。
あはは。
なるほど。さて、お風呂入ってこようかな。
Stretching, I start getting ready to head for a bath.
もう、答えてくれてもいいのに。無理に聞かないわ。でも、いつか話してくれたら嬉しい。
Will I be able to talk about this with her one day? Can I tell her I've been blackmailed into dating someone? And that I've done it all to protect her? Who knows? When I arrive at school, there are 5 letters waiting for me. That's less than yesterday. Well, according to CG, it's the exact same number, but I'll take it. I sigh, but after my talk with Shiori, I'm not as annoyed by it. So long as I can pick out Shiori's letter, I can ignore the rest. Though I still wonder who is the time for this. There's no point in dwelling on it. Shiori has clearly tried to differentiate her letter. She snuck stickers to it and drawn flowers around my name. In the letter, she asked what I think of her decorations. Imagining her working on it makes me smile. I bet she wanted to try lots of different options, and then probably regretted overdoing it. It's a cute image.
ちょっと前まで憎んでいた存在だったのに。
I'm still not 100% certain she isn't the culprit, but here I'm finding her cute. It's a weird feeling. Shiori arrives at the entry hall at the usual time. Seeing me, she flashes a relieved smile.
来てくださってよかったです。私の手紙わかりましたか？そりゃあんだけ派手にやられていたらすみません。私のだっていうのがわかるようにと思ったら。
You were almost expecting a switch to G, honestly.
今日も私の名前の手紙いっぱい来てましたか？昨日よりは少なかったよ。朝に5通、昼休みに2通。
But really, who has the time to do all that?
まだ続きそうですね。
After so long ignoring her, I'm now speaking to her normally. Shiori must have noticed and is being especially gentle with me.
行きましょう。
She skips forward happily. Aww. I want to ask her so many questions. I want to ascertain that she really isn't a blackmailer. But how can I broach the topic?
こと先輩。あ、何？いえ、なんだか考え事しているように見えたので。ちょっとね。私もいろいろ今までしなきゃいけなかった話。しなきゃいけなかった話。そう。
I start to speak, trying to act as natural as possible.
しおりは本当に私のことを知らなかったの？本当のことを言ってほしいの。嘘だったら嘘だったって言ってほしい。しおりのこと信じたいから。知らなかったです。すみません。もちろんずっと桔梗女学園通ってますし、お姿を拝見したことはありますし、でもお名前まではすみません。あれ、もしかして私みこと先輩に会ったことありましたか？私何か忘れてますか？もしかして委員会とか図書室でとか。違う、そうじゃないけど。じゃあ、しおりはどうして私と付き合ったの？
Because you seemed nice.
私のこと全く知らなかったの。
Well, no, that's not true. You didn't seem nice, but
私に告白されてどう思った？
we wanted to get to know you because we were so confused about you trying to
それは
date us.
びっくりしました。私そういうの無縁だと思ってましたし、恋とかクラスメイトやお友達が話しているのは聞いたことはありましたが、私は地味ですし、そういうのなんだかキラキラしててすごいなくらいに思ってて、しかもすごく綺麗な先輩に告白されて信じられないというか、あとはみこと先輩すごく
Like, I was afraid I would get beaten up if I didn't say yes. Yeah, I did, because I thought she was blackmailing me. Glaring at her, I vowed to myself that while I date her for Yumi's sake, it would never be a real relationship.
だから思ってたロマンチックな告白とは違うな。じゃあどうして OK したの？全く知らない人に告白されて断るとかお友達からとか言えたじゃない。私も最初はそう思いました。そう言うつもりでした。
Emotional, damn it!
でも
Listen, I'm so glad I found those videos. I never knew them before.
先輩の思いを気持ちを私と付き合いたいと言ってくれる人とちゃんと恋人になれるかとかはわからないけど、いい先輩後輩とかお友達にはなれるかもしれないと。告白なんて私はもう一生されることないと思います。
Damn.
だったら私に告白してくれた人と向き合って、それじゃあダメだったでしょうか。
She looks at me anxiously. She doesn't seem like she's lying. In fact, she seems completely genuine.
そっか。
It's finally clear to me. Shiori is not the blackmailer. I've been causing her to suffer over a misunderstanding.
なんかごめん、私しおりにずっと当たっちゃったからごめんね。ちょっとあなたのこと誤解してたの。いえ、私こそいつもありがとうございます。みこと先輩といられて楽しいです。
She flashes me the most brilliant smile.
そっか。
Aww.
みこと先輩は嫌がらせとかがあっておつらいかもしれない。
I'm glad that we're clearing this up
それは確かにめんどくさいよね。
relatively quickly.
でもしおりと話せて楽になった。
Shiori isn't a culprit, so there's no reason for me to be mean to her. I can let down my guard and talk and laugh with her. Even if we aren't really girlfriends, we can be friends.
遅くなっちゃったし、辛い思いさせて傷つけて申し訳なく。
Imagine being in the game and it still isn't cleared up. Oh my god. Whew.
せめて今からでもいい先輩後輩になれるように、私しおりともっとちゃんと話してみたい。みこと先輩、今まで無視したり冷たくしたり傷つけちゃったかもしれないけど、全然全然です。嬉しい。
That was a lot of yes, no, maybe. What?
ずっとみこと先輩と普通にお話できたらいいなって。みこと先輩が笑ってくださったらいいなって思ってましたから。だからすごく嬉しいです。みこと先輩、改めてよろしくお願いします。こちらこそ。
Shiori isn't a blackmailer. I don't have to keep her at arm's length anymore. But that means that someone else sent the blackmail letter.
How am I supposed to navigate my relationship with Shiori now? How long am I supposed to keep up the pretense of dating? Until you actually for real fall in love. Ta-da! Ah, there's a new like chapter thingy. I kept thinking like I wonder how long this is going to go until we get a new one.
しおりにずっと当たっちゃったから。
I'm gonna keep reading until it's a different section here with Shiori, like I don't know, a new school day or whatever. Because I don't want to stop in the middle of it all.
ごめんね。
Mikoto apologized to me. I don't know what she meant by saying she thought it was me.
ちょっとあなたのこと誤解してたの。
But it sounds like she was purposefully being cold to me due to some kind of misunderstanding. Did someone tell her I wasn't a nice person? Or has she gone through some kind of previous trauma? And don't really understand why, but from then on Mikoto started to smile at me. That smile I always wanted to see. It's taking a while, but I feel like we're finally taking a big step forward. Okay, never mind, there's a new section right here.
お待たせしました。
Oh, we'll just keep going then, until we hit 3 hours. Or something along those lines. Hi! She smiles as she greets me by name. It makes me so happy I could almost cry. All this time I wanted to see her smile.
手紙ありがとうね。私の手紙、わかりましたか？
I was embarrassed by how over the top I made my letter yesterday.
ありがとうね。小さいレース、可愛かった。しおりです。
In the envelope with the letter, I added one of the lace bookmarks I like to make.
あ、しおりか。可愛い。
Ooh.
初めて見た。はい、いいですよね。ああ、しおりだからか。気づかなかった。
Wait, if she likes to make lace bookmarks, she probably also made the ribbon she has in her hair herself.
すみません。
Oh, I make them for a hobby so I have plenty to spare. Those would really look nice. I figured that even if the faker sees one, it'll be hard for them to recreate. Maybe that sounds a little boastful, but they aren't easy to make for a beginner. Maybe someone already good at crafts could recreate one, but I'm confident in my skills. I want one of those!
いや、可愛い。しおりらしい。
She's so pretty when she laughs. My stomach flutters a notice from embarrassment.
でも、毎回これ入れてくれるの？毎回買うんじゃ大変でしょう。いえ、よかったらもらってください。いっぱい？あ、そういえば被服部って言ってた。はい、手芸好きなんです。すごい。これ手作りなの？いえいえ、まだ拙いですが。謙遜だ。でも作るの大変じゃないの？簡単ですよ。今までもたくさん作ってましたし、お友達にあげたりはしてたんですけど、それでもまだまだあって、それにバレてもなかなか真似できないかなと思ったので。確かにね。ここまで可愛いレースのしおり、簡単に編めないと思うし。じゃあ、ありがたくいただくね。そうだ、妹にもあげていい？
Oh, absolutely.
好きなんだ。はい、ぜひユミさんにもよろしくお伝えください。うん。これからの手紙も楽しみにしてる。開けた時にこんなに可愛いしおりが入ってると思うと、なんだか
The difference in how she was acting before and now is so fucking funny though.
よかったです。喜んでもらって。
Because before, when she thought Shiori was the blackmailer, she also kept going on and on about her, oh, you don't even know my real personality, and how she's so mean and everything. Is like, really? If this is your real personality, then I totally understand why lots of people would want to date her. She seems very approachable right now. I'm so happy to have her talking and smiling naturally with me. It really feels like a weight off my shoulders.
どうかした？なんだかこんな風に。
It's like, oh, you don't even know the real me.
そうよね。もう大丈夫だから。はい。
It took a little time, but we're finally moving forward. The fake letters might continue to come, but she'll know which letters are mine. I looked through my lace-making book for design inspiration. I still have a ball of lace bookmarks I made previously.
これからの手紙も楽しみにしてる。開けた時にこんなに可愛いしおりが入ってると思うと、なんだか毎日が楽しくなりそう。
It made me so happy to hear that from her. Sewing and crocheting are my hobby, but I've never made anything specifically for someone else. Knowing that I'll now be giving my crafts to Mikoto, I want to give her something new made just for her.
ミコト先輩、何色が好きかな。
Maybe a navy or turquoise color would suit her. Although light pink or purple could be pretty too. I carefully select the threads for my collection. Rather than a cute flower design, I want something more chic.
ミコト先輩。
I wrap a blue thread shot through with silver around the shuttle. This lace making technique is called tatting. After knotting a design, you use a crochet needle to stitch the more detailed parts.
モチーフをつなげて、
Ooh.
ビバリで少し模様編みしてもいいな。
I hope opening the envelope and seeing this bookmark will make her smile. I want to make Mikoto happy. Tatting with Mikoto in mind feels different to any time I've done it before. I work carefully, one stitch at a time.
ちょっと歪んじゃった。
Noticing one of the knots is slightly off, I unpick and redo it. Usually I wouldn't be so nitpicky, but I want this to be perfect.
できた。次は
I'm so absorbed I barely notice the time passing. Before I know it, Mikoto is the only thing on my mind. Aww. And now you're falling asleep in class. I stifle a small yawn. I stayed up tatting late into the night and fell asleep before writing my letter to Mikoto. Nitpicky! Getting out my letters that I start to write. Should I write about my lessons? What we're studying? I haven't told her much about the sewing club, so maybe I should write about that. New yawn, yeah. Oh my god, excuse me. Before I searched desperately for something that could catch her interest, but now I feel like I can talk more about myself. Will Mikoto be interested though?
しおり？
Mao peers down at me as I fumble to hide the letter.
ほう緩みっぱなしだけど。
The what now?
めっちゃ幸せそうなだらしないお
I put my hands to my cheeks in surprise, feeling them flush with embarrassment.
いやいやいいんだけどね幸せそうで何よりそんなつもりでは全く気づいてなくてそんなつもりじゃないわけじゃないでしょ幸せでしょ
えへへ。えへへ。
やっぱり
Until just recently, I was so worried about my relationship with Mikoto, but now I'm over the moon. I can't wait to see her. Maybe we're still pretty far from being real girlfriends, but we're at least moving in the right direction.
でもよかった告白されてまだわからないってこの間言ってたからそうじゃなくても有名人と付き合うって
Oh, I don't know what you mean.
できないだろうしそれはごめんね
Now I feel bad for making Maho worry.
嫌がらせとか受けてない
Mm.
私は大丈夫でも先輩があるんだ嫌がらせとも違うんだけど私の名前
I would count that as harassment.
手紙が届いたりするみたいうわーいい人だなんか信じらんないね大変だなでもそのうち落ち着くと思うって
Yeah, if they don't get a reaction to it, they'll probably stop at some point.
私の手紙っていうのもわかるようにしたし
But still, it sucks. It's like they just keep up with it until they get bored of it.
よかった
It's like, okay, damn.
何かあったらいつでも相談に乗るから言ってね
There's nothing we can do about you being harassed. Just
なおちゃん
put up with it. I'm glad to be able to talk to her about Mikoto now. I feel like I'm finally taking a step closer toward my vision of love. god. I yawned once, I have to keep yawning, Jesus. Until just recently, my life was perfectly ordinary. I was generally happy and had no real complaints, but all I did was go to school, study, and do a little sewing. I didn't have any special skills or interests. I simply went through the motions of each peaceful but boring day.
Shiori?
But now I have Mikoto. We won't do anything coupley and only spend about 20 minutes together each day. Yet those 20 minutes are my favorite time of the day. When waiting for the train, I almost wish it won't come. There's nothing we can do about to put up with it because it always ends up well in every situation. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Especially when it's about bullying. Like nothing ever went wrong, right? I want to spend more time with her. I want to talk with her more, get to know more about her.
こと先輩は好きなものとかありますか？なんだろうな。超好きな食べ物とか。
Ooh.
甘いものは結構好きかな。あ、私も好きです。ユミがそんなに甘いもの食べれないからたまになんだけどね。ユミさん、食事制限もあるんですか？あるよ。手術の後はしばらくおかゆだけとかもあるし、そうなると自分たちだけ美味しいものは食べられないって、その間はしばらく質素なご飯になって軽い断食みたいなダイエット感覚。大変ですね。
Mikoto makes it sound like no big deal, but I think it sounds awful.
一番大変なのはユミだからね。もともと本人も変色ひどいし。そうなんですか？そう、野菜とか何
She won't eat any veggies.
美味しいのに。意外です。ユミさん、しっかりしてそうなのに。しっかりはしてるけどね。でも結構わがままだよ。我が強いし。あとひねくれてる。
I mean, to be fair, she seems to be suffering from some kind of really harsh disease. They're probably not going to give it a name because, you know.
私のお友達、ユミさんと仲いいんですけど。真帆ちゃんだよね。お世話になってます。そうです。真帆ちゃんも。
Well, if all our if all of our relationships in these games are limited to just the characters we saw in the opening, I would bet that Yumi and Maho would end up dating them, and the two green-haired ones, the second and third year. Though I feel like the two green-haired ones together would be quite an experience.
ああ、いや、つい口が大事なんだけどね。でも困ったよ。
It's tough having as a sister. You wouldn't want it any other way, though. It's always like this. People with siblings will be like, well, yeah, we annoy each other, blah, 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 but you wouldn't want it any other way, right? It's not like you wouldn't. Like you would wish you didn't have that sibling. I know. Hi, Weird. Good evening. How you doing? Because I'm also an only child. I don't know what it's like to have siblings. But I was never sad about it as a child. I was like, no, it's fine. I have my own stuff. I don't need to have to share it with anyone. Have you been? We've been good, thank you. Just started this game today. Only child gang. Fuck yeah, only child gang. Mikoto's stone is thoughtful. Siblings are complicated. I spoke softly without even realizing it. Just then the train arrives and we both get on. I'm shocked by my own feelings. I'm jealous of Yumi for being loved by Mikoto. Matane. I say goodbye to Mikoto and alight from the train as usual. I wave as the train passes by me. I wish I could spend more time with her, and I'm jealous of Yumi, who she's going home to.
羨むなんて
Yet I can't help thinking how nice it must be to be Mikoto's sister. I bet they have such fun together at home, eating together, chatting, helping each other with homework.
先輩と一緒なら
I want to talk more with her. I want to know more about her. Usually I would say just text her, but seeing as you guys don't have cell phones in this game, that's kind of hard. But actually, I'm going to do a power move and save right here because the day in-game just changed. So this is a good idea as any. How the fuck do I get back to the main title screen? Title screen? Yes. Thank you for a pat. Now this is a good point as any to like stop right now, because who knows how long the next chapter, part, thing, whatever is going to be. Throw a hook with a note tied through a bedroom window. I feel like there was a movie or like a scene in some kind of thing that I saw, where it was like also that thing like throwing small rocks, but the person, they threw like a really small one, like a pebble, and then the person behind the window opened it, and then the next rock literally smacked them in the face. I feel like that was some whatever series making fun of that trope though. Because Jesus Christ, don't throw stones at people's windows. I was gonna ask what this game was about. Oh yeah, hold on. So it's like this. Person on the left, Mikoto, gets asks out Shiori. That's what the game opens up with, and they don't know each other, and she's really weird and like really mean and not very talkative about it, and Shiori's like, okay, sure, let's go out. Let's get to know each other better. Then we find out after a small change in perspective, we find out that Mikoto is actually getting blackmailed, or was getting blackmailed to ask her out. And over the course of today's stream, just like a few minutes ago, she realized, okay, it's not Shiori who actually is blackmailing her into going out with her, it's someone else. And now she's genuinely trying to get to know her better and actually getting along with her and being nice to her. So we're getting towards a part where they're probably falling for each other for real, and not just a weird blackmail situation. But we don't know who the blackmailer is yet. At least they were throwing rocks and not bricks. I mean, yeah, you should also not throw bricks through the bricks at people's windows. Hello? That's really not what you should do. Interesting, isn't it? Isn't it? Thank you for a nice stream. No, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. You want to get more into these visual novel type games? Oh. Huh? Have I made you interested in visual novels? Listen, I'm always happy when people, I don't know, find visual novels interesting and like, I want to look into that for myself at some point. Perhaps, fuck yeah. Sometimes you just need to get someone's attention. But where would you even get a brick from to do that though? Like, hello? Hello? Oh, thank you, bud. I do have a Discord channel. I do have a Discord. Yes, I do. You finished one of the recommendations I got. Which one? Which one? I have to admit, I haven't played as many visual novels, I feel, recently. Like all of the stuff we've done recently on the short stream days were even if they had like visual novel elements, were not pure visual novels. So this one feels natural. Feels natural to just go back to having to click enter a bunch of times and not having to think a lot myself. I needed that. I needed that as a break. Some of the streets in town I went to college were made of brick. None of them here are though. Oh, starry flowers. Starry flowers. Starry flowers? Okay, hold on. I know flowers, but that's a 4-part series and the 4th part is not out yet. You know, like flowers, le volume, however you pronounce that in French. I can't do that. But starry flowers? Not sure. Not sure what you're thinking of. A free one. Oh, a free one on itch. Okay. That makes sense then. Huh. I do have to look into it. I think I have a bunch of short indie visual novels on itch as well. That I do want to play through at some point. Maybe we'll do some days where it's like, hi, we're going to play through a bunch of the really short games to see what they're like. Because a game doesn't need to be really long to be good. It just needs to be enjoyable. You should totally join the Discord. Fuck yeah! Everyone join the Discord. Well, yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. Let me think real quick. We're going to continue playing this game on Wednesday, and you know, just from a feeling, I think it's probably going to be another 2 streams. It's probably going to be another 2 streams. So this one next week, and we're going to be playing more Merudu next week still, because we're still not through. Maybe we'll finally finish it though. Probably not. It's probably going to be another few weeks. And also obviously more Ghostwire. So I'll post a schedule in a bit. Usual days. I don't have anything planned. So that would like be on the days where I have streams, so we should be fine. As no sudden, oh no, you need to visit family. That always fucks up my schedule. Thank you for the stream, went by real quick. It did. 3 hours really went by quickly. But yeah, thanks for coming tonight, everyone. We're going to be rating you tonight. You just started playing Spiritfarer, which is a game that I've been interested in for so long, but I've never actually looked at whether it was on sale anywhere. So I still don't have it, but it looks so nice. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I hope you have a very good remainder of the Sunday. Wish you a good yawn, you too. Post a schedule in a bit. See you. Blah, 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 blah. I can talk. I will see you next week. Good night. And bye bye. Wait, not bye bye. Hold on. I don't have the ending song yet. Wah. Bye bye.